Welcome to round number 6, the final round of the 2017 UCI BMX Supercross World Cup. I'm Pete Deluski. Jason Richardson's here today to give you all the information about the riders on track here for the UCI World Cup Finals.
Hey Pete, thanks for having me, and I'm glad you're in the booth with me as always. Beautiful day here in Santiago del Estero City, Spanish for St. James upon the Lagoon. Great location, mother of all cities. First city founded by Spanish settlers, and just so you know, 2 times named Best UCI BMX Supercross event. And that is not by the spectators, but that is by the riders, so it is well worth the trip as we see this beautiful panoramic sky view of this amazing track and facility. The sports facility, you can see the track, as in track and field track to the left. And to the right, which is out of view, they're actually building a brand new swimming facility. So, City of Santiago del Estero definitely supporting sports and, more importantly, BMX bicycle racing.
So yeah, definitely excited for today, the last day of the World Cup, but all about Santiago, Jason.
All about Santiago. As we said, this city has been great. They've welcomed us with open arms, with a population of 250,000. Considered the mother of all cities. 12th largest city in Argentina lies on the Dulce River. And as we know, everybody loves the dulce that comes from Argentina. Here on the BMX track, that beautiful blue starting hill, will see a lot of heat and action as we get ready for the final round of the UCI BMX Supercross World Cup.
Yeah, we will crown 2 champions today. Tight races in both the elite men and elite women. Just 60 points difference in the elite men's overall. And you'll see that round coming up ever so shortly as those riders are coming up. Then we'll move over to the elite women later on. A little bit of an advantage for Laura Smulders, but yesterday she had a crash. Mariana Pajón took a chunk of points away, and it's going to be a good battle between the 2 of them, as well as the other 100 riders that we have here in attendance, all trying to battle their way into today's main event, Jason.
That's right, that's right. So we have beautiful sunny conditions, a bit warmer than it was yesterday, and the wind is now actually wind. It was a breeze yesterday, but it is a bit of a windy condition today. Gusts, though, at 19 kilometers per hour. So some of the riders were commenting that it is good because there is a tailwind down the first straight, which will help the women out quite a bit on those big jumps, and then a headwind down the second straight, which will help the elite men, as some of those gentlemen were over jumping some of those jumps yesterday.
Jason, let's give them a review of what happened yesterday. Stop number 5, bringing us to here today to the finals of the World Cup.
Yes, yesterday with Smulders had that crash in that first round, but managed to get in the main nonetheless. As you see, the top 3 points leaders are lanes 1, 2, and 3 with Pajón, Smulders, and Christensen 1, 2, and 3, and that's how they will finish up. Pajón taking a commanding lead right from the charge with Smulders in 2. She manages to stay in second all the way around the track, nursing that shoulder that she hurt just the other day. She also said her hand was hurting quite a bit as well. They had to pull a fingernail off of her hand before her second moto. But as you can see here, Pajón and Smulders just walking away with that first and second place, with Christensen in a safe 3rd place. And that's how they finished up yesterday. Smulders still has the points lead, so it will be interesting. Pajón has her work cut out for her if she wants the overall Supercross title. Meanwhile, there's a battle with Stephanie Hernandez and Bondarenko for that top 3. So Christensen is not out of the woods as far as it is maintaining her top 3 overall position. As you see, the winners are grinners celebrating on the podium. As we go to the men, the story is all about Argentina. Argentina, we have Torres and Molina.
Watch the gate.
Both with an amazing start. Molina with that drag strip-like first straightaway, leaving room for his teammate Torres to dip right in underneath Andre. They're going to go 1 and 2 out of the first corner, and Torres is going to get a little bit greedy and just say, you know what, teammate, I'm going a little faster than you, so I'm going to pass you right here. So Torres makes an amazing pass in the second corner. Molina holding off the Frenchman, the World Cup leader in points, Andre, and they're going to bring it in for their home country, 1 and 2, as you can hear the crowd going wild. Very celebratory victory with Connor Fields finishing out with 4th, but definitely the story was all about the Argentinian brothers from other mothers, but definitely the story about them, and a great finish for Torres and Molina, as it is probably their best World Cup finish to date.
Yes, as you saw there, the fans went crazy, and you're going to go crazy today trying to calculate points. As you see here, the elite men, Sylvan Andre holds that 60-point lead over Connor Fields. Dave Vandenberg's just behind Connor. Tori Nyhog still has a mathematical chance, but it's going to take quite a lot for anyone to get past Sylvan Andre. He's been very consistent. And then when we move over to the women's side, Laura Smulders has had a great season. Mariana Pajon has come on as of late, and you can see right there is a big points gap, but anything could happen. Laura Smulders crashing yesterday. Should that affect her day of racing? We'll find out. Mariana Pajon was on point, and the track here is one of the things they're going to have to battle, Jason.
Yes, Pajon has to beat Smulders by 6 positions in order to get that World Cup title, which will probably be difficult in such a small field.
So it'll be interesting to see, on top of everything else, we have the pressure of it being the World Cup finals. But let's get to the start of racing, Jason, as we have a view of the lap here in Argentina to give you a first point of view of what it's like to run the race. And Jason will talk us through the track here in Santiago.
As you can see, the bird's eye view, POV, as you jump over the first double, hit a roller, then step up, step double, step down. Don't want to forget that step down. As we see Torres, yesterday's winner, he's going to take us around the second straight. Pro double number 1, number 2, quick little roller, and then a jump into the second corner, another double. As you come around, we're going to have a roller, step up, double, another double, 2 rollers, and then 3 rollers into the last corner. Coming out of the last corner, you're going to have a tabletop. Quite easy. Step up, and then a double. Looks easy, but your legs are burning as we see Nick Kimmin just wheelie it on in for the practice GoPro point of view lap.
Gracias.
Thank you. De nada.
So yeah, there is a lap win from the rider's perspective, and now we're going to give you a lap of what it's like here with 8 riders in the gate, all trying to push their way through this 8th final. The riders that don't make it will go to a last chance, and then we go to single elimination racing. Jason, here's our first run here in Heat 1.
Yeah, round 1, Heat 1, Torres, De Souza, Yoshimura, Matsushita definitely have Guzman, Liendo, and Ikegami, the Japanese rider, as well. So this is round 1, the 8th. Those that do not make it, which would be 4th or better, those that do not get 4th or better will have to go to a last chance qualifier. So making it out of this round gives the riders a little bit extra of a break. And we're live.
Ready? Watch the gate.
Let's see if Torres can keep that winning fashion going. Not the best start, but definitely not the best gate, but definitely the best start in the first corner. So it's going to be Torres and De Souza, followed by the Japanese rider of Matsushita. They are pulling away from the rest of the crowd. The sun shining bright. Torres looking a little stylish into that second corner. We have Japanese riders 3 and 4 with Ikegami in 4th, but Torres has a commanding lead over De Souza. De Souza wanting to catch him in that corner. De Souza taking some lessons in how these Argentinians ride the track, and De Souza's going to test it. But Torres is going to look over his shoulder and just go, yo, man, just the first moto.
So another successful lap here for Torres, definitely having the crowd behind him. Having that win yesterday is going to propel him throughout the day, and you can see, as Jason alluded to, not the first few pedals that he wanted, but right after at the bottom of that ramp, he really took off.
Definitely, definitely. And that was a great line by De Souza in the third corner, not knowing if that will expose him for later on, because now other riders might be watching for that. But definitely De Souza riding quite well this week. And the official, Torres, De Souza, Yoshimura, and Matsushita, they will move on to the next round. Guzman, Ikegami, and the like will have to go to the last chance. Heat number 2, Brizuela, Andre, Shira, Palominos, Goyes, Concha, and Rios. All eyes on this gentleman. He had a crash earlier on, probably about 20 minutes ago in warm-up. So I know his arm is stinging. I saw him taking off his jersey. He had a bloody elbow. And he's next to the world champion, Corbin Shira. Let's see how they go.
Watch the gate.
Out of the gate they come. Looks like Shira off to a decent start along with Andre. Andre's going to use that inside position and just slide inside of Shira. So we have Andre, Shira, and Goyes, 1, 2, and 3 as they head into the second corner. Pete, bring us in.
So Sylvan Andre, as Jason alluded to, had that crash, and he's been sick, but right now he's making the rest of the lap sick as he's out in front. Corbin Shira in that second place spot, drafting behind him, and then coming the third, we have Goyes, so it'll be Andre and Shira cruising to the line. Shira will take the victory over Andre Goyes, and then Palominos will be your top 4.
Wow, so you generally don't see Shira finish like that. He's kind of a relaxed kind of guy. But clearly Shira and Andre had the speed down the first straight. They gave themselves a lot of room to play with. But Shira not necessarily known for charging down the last straight, not because he can't, but he just generally rides relaxed. So it seems like he had a little more to give. So that'll be interesting heading into these next rounds to see if that works out for him in the main event.
And I think a lot of riders, they know this, but they took to fact that your top four in this race, Chirac, Andres, Goyas, and Palominos, they get to get their gate pick on their times. And as you saw yesterday, a really fast semi. Those guys had third and fourth pick. That could have difference in the outcome, but here we go with heat number 3, Jason.
Heat number 3, Jones, Arbodello, Rios, Nakai, Yoshi, and Vaca. Jones getting in that main yesterday with a 5th place. He'll be in lane 1 from New Zealand.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Watch the lights, watch the gate. Looks like the Colombian out with a great start. He makes sure to get his elbow in front of Jones. Jones has to shut it down and settle for second going into the first corner. So it's Arbodella. He had a strong day yesterday, just gotten a little bit of bad luck during the later qualifying rounds. But Jones is staying consistent in second right behind him. Nakai in third for Japan. So Jones pacing Arbodella with a nice run in the last corner. Looks like Jones is going to make a little bit of a charge at the finish line. As we know, the timing matters, and Jones, laying in wait, does his thing, gets past Arbodella, Nakai, and Rios. So Jones taking that win and possibly a better lane choice for the next round.
Yeah, definitely a good run down here, the second straightaway for both of these riders, but as you said, Jones was cognizant of the fact that he wanted to have that fast time, put the power down that last straightaway, and took the win here in heat number 3. So here are your official results. Jones, Arbodella, Nakia, and Rios, those 4 riders make their way through in today's program. The other 2, they will go to that last chance qualifier.
Next up, we have Kai Sakakibara, Klashenko, Yamaguchi, Chappelle, Godoy, and Aguirre. Sakakibara getting in that main yesterday barely, just with those thirds and fourths all day long. I was talking to him earlier today. He said he had a rough day yesterday adjusting. He said he couldn't make it harder on himself, so he wants to change that around. He'll be in lane 1. He's the Australian national champion. Round 1, heat 4.
Ready, watch the gate.
Sakakibara looks like he's off to a good start, shutting down Klashenko right off the jump, and we have Chappelle just on the outside. Chappelle looking for a little bit of a dive, doesn't want a high side off Kai Sakakibara, but Sakakibara with a commanding lead right now, hitting those jumps quite well. He was over jumping that second straight yesterday, having a lot of trouble with it, but right now it is Sakakibara and Chappelle 1 and 2 with Klashenko in third, who might be in trouble, but Sakakibara is checking out. Pete, what do you see?
I just see Chappelle make a move on Klashenko on that last turn, while Kai Sakakibara gets out in front of everyone else, but there's going to be a lot of battling, and you can see Chappelle gets it, Klashenko in that third place, and then it's going to be a good battle down that hill, Jason.
Good battle down the hills. We can see Sakakibara not really contested down that first straight compared to the rest of this group, but as we know, it's the whole track one has to race, but Kai Sakakibara definitely wanting to make today a different day than it was yesterday.
It was Yamaguchi who got that 4th place result behind Klashenko, Chappelle, and Sakakibara. Those are your riders moving on in the program.
Next up, we have Evans, Komarov, Rios, Schaub, Rojas, and Viola. Kyle Evans, known for those fast starts. He's I think he had like the top 5 or 6 fastest times down the hill yesterday. Got as far as the semi, so he's looking definitely to make the main.
Okay, riders, random start.
Round 1, heat 5.
Ready, watch the gate.
Out of the gate they come. Looks like Evans tips over just a bit. I'm not sure if he unclicked, but the Russian Komarov followed by the German Schaub. So it's going to be Komarov, Schaub, and Rios. Komarov has a little bit of heat on him with the German. Not sure if the German's going to make a move, going to high-low or not. Not quite the case as Komarov defends his position. So Evans moving up into the 3rd place spot, making good use of that track speed and that long, pure bicycle as he sends the Colombian back to 4th. But right now it is Komarov, Schaub, and Evans now fighting for that 2nd place.
Yeah, so Evans will just miss out. He will get 3rd. It'll be Komarov, Schwab, Evans, and Rios. But yeah, you can see right here out of the gate, just not what you want to do to start your day off, Jason, in the first moto down the hill.
No, definitely not what you want to do, but it's always nice to know that you can make up ground when you need to. So that will, in my opinion, actually be a better race than if he had just won start to finish. He will have to contend with not having the best lane choice, but now maybe Evans will be a little bit more on his toes the rest of the day. We'll see.
So your official result, Komarov, Schwab, Evans, and Rios, those are the 4 making their way through heat number 5. Heat 6, Vanderberg.
Santillan, Marino, Pizarro, Katana, and Rosabado.
So Vanderberg yesterday definitely not the race he wanted, but today's looking to better himself. We'll see if he can do that here, starting his wave of the day on the track.
Rider is ready. Watch the gate.
Vanderberg rolling those wrists forward before he takes off. It must work for him as he charges straight to the front with Marino right in second. So we have Netherlands, Argentina, 1 and 2. Ramiro Marino definitely been on the circuit a long time, been racing Supercross, and Supercross started in 2007. So definitely a crowd favorite as well. Many World Championship wins as a younger kid. But right now it's all Vanderberg heading down that last straight. Looks like Marino wants a little bit more, but they're going to ease it on in. Vanderberg, Marino, Pizarro, and Santillan. Katana will have to go to the last chance, unfortunately. We see Vanderberg hitting everything very textbook style. Not much flash, just point A to point B. We call it point and click, drag and drop. But it definitely works for Vanderberg as he gets the job done and takes it all the way to the line in first, followed by Marino.
So there are your official results. Vanderberg, Marino, Panazzaro, Santillan, those 4 riders make their way through. Next up, heat number 7, Jason.
Kinman, Navrstad, Montenegro, Kafa, Hasegawa, and Pacheco. Definitely a great cast of characters from all different kinds of countries. Nick Kinman being kind of quiet at this race. Seems like he's had kind of an up and down weekend so far. Moments of glory, but not quite putting it together the way he'd like to. Definitely capable.
Rider is ready. Watch the gate.
Off they go. Kinman off to a little bit late of a start. Looks like Navrstad goes straight to the front. Derek Betcher will be proud. Kinman, he's going to dive into the second place right underneath Montenegro. So it's going to be Navrstad, Kinman, and Montenegro 1, 2, and 3 as they jump into the second corner. Pete, take it away.
So yeah, Navrstad looking good, but Kinman's pouring it on down this third straight. A little bit of a hang up there. He's going to let Navrstad take that lead into the last turn. Let's see if Kinman can pull him down that last straight. It looks like Navrstad's on point. He's going to race his way all the way to the line with the victory ahead of Kinman. Third place Montenegro, and then Kafa will be your 4th place qualifier. So as you said yesterday, Kinman didn't have the day he wanted, and that's not the day, really the day he wanted to start out. Having a little bit of a late start, but Navrstad no slouch in the gate as well, and you can see right here, taking that lead all the way around the track, Jason.
Yeah, I got to think that's a confidence builder for Navrstad. He's definitely one of the guys on the circuit who's on his way up, but to be next to Nick Kinman, who's made a lot of mains, who's won some mains, and to just really hole shot him like that must be good for him. Official, Navrstad, Kinman, Montenegro, and Kafa. Pacheco and Hasegawa will go to the last chance qualifier. Right now, we're going to be looking at the Magician, Ramirez, Peliward, Shippers, Del Santo, Arenas, and Zuleta. So the Colombians riding this track well. Definitely Ramirez will be next to Peliward. Peliward in 2, Ramirez in 1.
Okay, rider. Random start. Rider is ready. Watch the gate.
Round 1, Heat 8. Looks like Peliward has a great start. Saw Peliward leaning back just a little bit further than Marias, but Peliward gets pinched anyways. Ramirez just makes his way through. So it's going to be Ramirez, the Magician, Shippers, and then Peliward 1, 2, and 3. So we have Colombia, the Netherlands, and France, respectively, as we head into the rhythm section. All looking good and all spreading out, but Ramirez is just checking out. As we know, his track speed is almost unmatched. Shippers with the 2, followed by Peliward and Arenas for the 4.
So yeah, talk us through this gate here, Jason. You can see, looks like Peliward has a great start, but then he just gets pulled back by both Shippers and Ramirez.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but he seems like he stopped pedaling after that roller after the first jump. So I don't know what happened with Peliward, if he got spooked because the other riders got close to him. He did have a great start. A lot of times what happens when you have a really good initial pop, it's what's called over snapping, and that second pedal's not there. So I don't know exactly what happened, but seemed like he just didn't have the drive that he wanted after that great start. Official, Ramirez, Shippers, Peluard, and Arenas. So 2 Colombians make it out of that group, and the rest will go to the last chance. Right now, we're looking at Palmer, main event maker. Tanner Sebesta, Twan Van Gent almost did a backflip yesterday. Aslex Ruud, Quintanilla, and Bertolini from Argentina.
Yeah, I talked to Twan earlier. He said he was really happy to walk away with just only a light abrasion on his back. He's looking to make it up today, and let's see if he can do that as we get ready for the start of his first race here at stop number 6 of the World Cup Tour.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
Heat 9, round 1. Looks like Twan Van Gent off to a great start with Sebesta making good use of that space that was given to him by Palmer. So now we have Van Gent and Sebesta with Palmer in third. Definitely a heavy-hitting moto right here. Twan Van Gent making sure he drops that back wheel a little bit sooner than normal, but he gets through the second straight quite well as Sebesta's got some heat on him from Palmer. Looks like Palmer is not going to push it too much as Sebesta's going to make sure he tries to stay in second, but right now it's all Twan Van Gent followed by Sebesta, and I think maybe Palmer might have gotten that. They're going to have to go to the line, but Quintanilla from Bolivia getting through that moto as well.
Yeah, you just said, Jason, this is right where things went wrong for Twan yesterday, right there. Underjumped it a little bit, but came in smooth, carried that speed, and that finish all the way to the line with the victory here in heat number 7.
Good clean race. I know Twan's happy to get the monkey off his back. He did go down. Official Van Gent, Palmer, Sebesta, and Quintanilla. He did go down yesterday with an amazing fashion. Lucky to be alive, so to speak, so it's nice to know that he come on the other side okay. Van Gorkum, Godet, Agudelo, Bensink, Mercado, and Lopez will be up next. Heat number 10, round 1. Eyes on Van Gorkum.
Okay, riders, random
He'll be coming out of lane 1, and that's your Olympic silver medalist.
ready, watch the gate.
Van Gorkum and Godet, lanes 1 and 2, the oldest gentleman, one of the oldest gentlemen in the class, but it doesn't show that way as Van Gorkum and Godet are using that experience straight to the front of the pack as Van Gorkum, Godet, 1 and 2, into turn 2 with Bensink in third. Pete.
Yeah, it's a
takes them
tight battle there for that second and third spot. Bensink's trying to get around Godet, but they're all following Van Gorkum through that last turn. Now there's going to be pull-up up to the line. Can they do it? No, it looks like Van Gorkum will take it across the line. Godet, Bensink, and Agudelo will take the 4th place spot.
That's a really good race by Van Gorkum. Another textbook style riding style. Maybe not too flashy, but definitely getting the job done. Van Gorkum is just does the work. Godet, known for track speed. The French are sneaky that way. Always riding that back wheel, styly-like, but they definitely get through the track pretty fast, and Godet is definitely known for his track speed. So when I saw Bensink rise up on him, I thought it'd be a hard pass to make. The official, Van Gorkum, Godet, Bensink, and Agudelo, Mercado, and Lopez, unfortunately, have to go to the last chance qualifier. As we come up to the next round where we see Fields, White, Nagasako, Ruiz, Shimada, and Webster. Who do you have in this one, Pete?
Well, Connor Fields had a good race yesterday. Trey White definitely wants some redemption, and we can see Nagasako always getting in there. So let's see how things kick off as they get ready here for their first run in heat number 11.
Watch the gate.
You see the focus in Connor's eyes as he takes straight off. Trey White with a pretty decent start to the first jump. Looks like Connor had a little bit more, some power pedals after that first jump. Nonetheless, it is Fields, White, and Nagasako 1, 2, and 3, just how they left, just like their gate position. Trey White with a little bit of an overjump. Looks like Nagasako is going to take advantage of that in the second corner as White drops back to 3. But Connor Fields is just pulling away in this rhythm section as White is now catching up to Nagasako saying, I made a mistake, but I want to make up for that. Right now, though, it's all Connor Fields, USA, Olympic gold, followed by Nagasako and White, with Ruiz getting that final qualifying position this lap.
So yeah, you see down this second straightaway, as you said, Jason, where did it go wrong for Trey White?
So Trey White looked like he overjumped. Looked like the wind actually caught him a little bit on that second double, and you really want to make sure you get down quick enough to get that roller into the third double. But definitely a good catch because Trey still was able to qualify with a third place.
So those 4 riders successfully through Fields, Nagasako, White, and Ruiz. those riders will make their way through the program, have a lap off to have a little bit of rest. But we don't have any rest here with heat number 12 upon us.
No, the heat keeps coming. Heat 12, Molina, Diaz, Nihog, Espejo, Aguirre, Calixto, and Finney.
So Tori Nahog didn't have the day he wanted yesterday. Definitely wants to come back. But you do. Molina was on fire yesterday, getting that second place in the main event. Let's see if he's able to capitalize on that, move forward on today's program as these riders are in the gate here for heat number 12.
Yeah, my eyes on Molina. Molina, there's no reason why he would not have a good gate or a good first straightaway, but Tori Nihog definitely contesting that just on the outside. So it's going to be Molina and Nihog 1 and 2 as they take up a lot of space down that second straightaway. Those are two pretty big guys hopping into that second corner. Molina making sure he's ensuring himself that Tori's not going to get by. Calixto in third, though, making a good run, but he's got some pressure on him in the rhythm section as Molina is fighting off Tori Nihog for that first place. But it's going to be all Molina, followed by the Canadian of Nihog, Calixto, and Diaz.
So it's a good run there, but Jason, talk us through what it's like when you're doing this drag race down that first straightaway. When do you decide you need to back up to make it through the turn, or do you forge ahead to try to get that pass? As you see these guys were shadowing each other down the first straightaway.
Usually your elbow is going to tell you if you can make it or not. If you can get your elbow in front of the other person, then generally speaking, you can keep pressing. But sometimes it's about filing in and living to fight another day, or riding tactically and riding that next straight better to pass them. Right now, though, Molina, Nihog, Calixto, and Diaz, that's your official from round 1, heat 12.
So that'll do it for the first round of Elite Men. We make our way over to the Elite Women. Just 4 motos here in their 8th finals, and we'll see how things work out as they get ready to race here for the first time in Santiago del Estero for round number 6, the World Cup Finals, and this one's already on fire, Jason. Mariana Pajon, Afromova, Harova, Rastepo, Sorova, and Peterson, those will be the ladies on the gate at this moment. Mariana Pajon yesterday ruled this track. Can she carry that through today's program? We will see here in just a moment as we get ready for the first of the Elite Women's round of racing.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
Round 1, heat 1, Elite Women, as we see Mariana Pajon going straight to the front with the Russian contingent in 2nd and 3rd. Pajon, Afromova, Suvorova, 2 and 3 as they jump down the second straight. Wind affecting them a little bit differently, but not too much as they all look clean coming out of the second corner and into the rhythm section. We'll see if Pajon can pull away or if the Russians can catch up. What do you say, Pete?
It looks like Mariana Pajon's got it on cruise control, but as you said, those Russian missiles behind her definitely on heat sink as they're pulling up. But Mariana Pajon's going to take it across the line. It'll be Afromova in 2nd, Sorova in 3rd, and Peterson will be in that 4th place spot. So yeah, Mariana Pajon just looking smooth through turn number 2 and down that 3rd straightaway. A lot of power, and then crossing the line, taking a moment to just reflect on the great race here she had the opening round for the World Cup Finals.
Yeah.
Titles on the line for her today. She made it through, as you can see here. Afromova, Sorova, and Peterson. Those 4 ladies make it and advance through the program.
Peterson had a disappointing day yesterday, just only getting to the semi. But right now, round 1, heat 2, Christensen, George, Asuero, Huisman, Teixeira, and Aguirre. Spoke to Teixeira earlier, the Canadian. She said she was there and then she wasn't. And she knew exactly what happened in the semi, so she definitely wants to get into the main event.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
The Danimal coming out of lane 2, the American, but right now it's all Christensen going straight to the front, so it's going to be Christensen, George, and Asuero 1, 2, and 3 as they head into the second turn. Looks like the Danimal, Danny George, is not going to let Christensen just run away with it, and Asuero wants to make a bid as well. Christensen making her way through the rhythm as Danny George is staying close behind. Actually, Christensen now pulling away as Asuero is catching up to Danny George. So now Danny George has her work for a cutout for her as Christensen takes it all the way to the line uncontested.
Yes, it'll be Christian, Azero, George, Huisman. Tuxer's just outside in that 5th place spot, but you can see right here, good gate start from Simone Christensen, one of the most consistent ladies on that World Cup circuit so far this year. She sits just back in 3rd place, but she has that chance to get the 2nd or 1st overall, and she's starting things off with a victory in her first run. That's definitely going to be propelling for her throughout the rest of the day.
Yes, the official Christensen, Asuero, George, and Huisman. Good race for Asuero. Definitely helped with the old confidence. As we head into Heat 3, Round 1, Hernandez, Bollet, Diaz, and Stavo. They keep putting the Diaz sisters in the same moto, and I think it works out for them as they both seem to be doing quite well on the circuit. Miss Gabriela Diaz, one of the elder stateswomen on the circuit, and one of the greatest competitors we've seen in some time. Stephanie Hernandez, Olympic bronze medalist in lane 1.
Riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Lane 2 has a late start. That helps Stephanie Hernandez out and Gabriela Diaz as we see Stavo working way to the front from the outside. But Stephanie Hernandez just taking advantage of that inside. Stavo gets spit out back to 4th as the Diaz sisters take 2 and 3 respectively, as Stephanie Hernandez is holding off the Diaz sisters as they are all over her heading into this rhythm section. Meanwhile, Stavo might be there to take them all on. We'll see. Stephanie Hernandez just barely holding on. Diaz sisters fighting each other now. Now we have a race for first place, and it could be anyone, Pete.
Yeah, right at the end there, Stavo came through around one of the Diaz sisters. They were all bunched up. They were basically a shadow of each other all the way around their track after the second turn, Jason.
Yeah, not a very common race for Stephanie Hernandez. She normally doesn't seem to have as much trouble getting around the track. I don't know what happened to her track speed there. Typically, when she's out front, she tends to stay out front with less trouble than that. But when you're followed by the Diaz sisters and Stavo, that can happen. The official Hernandez, Diaz, Stavo, and Diaz. Round 1, Heat 4, we have Smolders, Bondarenko, Duarte, Bao, Hatakeyama, and Tenno. Bondarenko having a great day yesterday until the main event. Spoke to her coach earlier, saying she was a bit disappointed with her main event finish. Round 1, Heat 4, Elite Women. As we see Smolders go straight to the front, followed by Bao and Bondarenko. Bondarenko's going to go under Bao as Smolders takes the lead, continues with her lead down the second straight. So the race is between Bondarenko and Bao right now. Bao looking for a move, but Bondarenko go contesting Smolders. That was unlikely, but Bondarenko definitely making and taking charge down that third straightaway. Bao staying in third, Smolders just backing off just a bit, looking to qualify, it seems, playing it safe, as Bondarenko, Smolders, and Bao cross the line with the Japanese rider of Tenno in 4th. See the replay. Bondarenko has a great start. Bao's okay. She knocks the Japanese rider over. The Japanese rider jumps into her, so unfortunately we lose her. But Bondarenko making that move in the second corner and then running away with it. Smolders pulling it in for second place, wanting to hold on to that points lead. So her job is to stay up and get into that main event to maintain for that overall World Cup title. The official, Bondarenko, Smolders, Bao, and Tenno, Duarte, and Hatakeyama. Hopefully she's okay from that wreck. She will unfortunately have to go to the last chance qualifier. Racing resumes at 2:45. Santiago del Estero.
Okay, I'm Pete Deluski. We're in the pits, and today we have with us our current Elite Men's World Cup leader, Sylvain Andre. Sylvain, not the day you wanted to have yesterday, still on the podium. I know you're happy with that. I know you always want to be in that top step. And then this morning, what happened in practice?
It was tough. I feel better like today. I'm like the sickness is like slowly going away. So I tried the Negro Lima Torres line down the first straight on the triple, but I was like way too fast. My skill was not on point, and I went sideways, landed on my elbow in the turn. So yeah, just one gate, went just after the first run to the medical stuff because I had a big hole in my elbow. But like, there's no pain. There's no like, I can rise the same way. So no excuses intended.
So you're one of those riders, though. You love the competition. You love to be out here, and something like that's not going to hold you back. So as we said, today you're leading the points. You have 60-point lead over Connor Fields. So it's going to come down to hopefully both of you guys in that main event racing head-to-head. Then you have a little bit of a cushion. But I know you don't want to look too far ahead of the day. But how are you planning the day throughout?
Yeah, it's crazy because after like 5 rounds already, it's such a close gap. So yeah, we'll come down to who gets the best day pretty much. I have like a little margin, so I can be a spot or two, maybe 3 spots behind Connor, but I always want to be in the main. I always want to be on the podium, so it's not going to change today. Want to be in the main, and then we see what happens.
And then as we're speaking of the mains, yesterday's main was crazy. I know, as we said, 3rd place for you, the 2 Argentinians out there. Just talk about what it was like to be behind 2 guys who normally you wouldn't be behind.
Yeah, like I know, Molina, he got a great pull, and especially he had a huge pull. So there was like plan A was to get over him and get the whole shot, and plan B was to follow him. And then I started looking at Torres coming on the inside. I knew he would do something at some point, so I just like went on the outside a little bit. Let the Argentinian, the locals, do their thing, and then see what I can do. Like if I could grab like another spot or stay in 3rd, and I stayed in 3rd, and I took it.
Yeah, as from the spectator point of view, it looked like both you and Connor were trying to set both of them up. And meanwhile, you both got set up by Torres, it looked like a little bit. But in the end, as you said, you were able to walk away with a 3rd place, another solid podium day.
Yeah, exactly. And especially with the point being so close, you better get a 3rd than trying to go for a 2nd and crash. And yeah, Torres was fast, and Molina was kind of go like, he was going right and left in the line, and there was not much of room to pass him. I would have passed him maybe if it would have gone straight and I've took better line, but yeah, still like a podium finish is solid points. So yeah, onto today.
So as you said, today the World Cup finals, the end of the World Cup season. I know you're happy about the position you're at and the today's racing. So what are expectations for the day throughout the rest?
Like pretty much same as usual. I have a solid day, and at the end of the day, we'll do the math. We'll see who's the champion, if it's me, Connor, or someone else. But whatever happened today, I had a great season so far, and I couldn't ask for better. I could have dreamed for like any better season. So I'll keep it. I keep what I take today, and I will work harder for next year and the next few years for sure.
All right, well, thanks so much. I know the French fans and all the fans from around the world are cheering on for you to take this World Cup title.
Have you seen my official fan club back home?
Yeah.
You haven't seen the video?
No,
They're loud. They're loud.
So I know. Let's say something to the French fans that want to, get motivated by you from today.
Merci à tout le monde. Ça tombe bien. Vous êtes, ça tombe parfait les horaires pour vous. Merci derrière les écrans. Et voilà, j'espère que je vais vous régaler ce soir et que vous allez être heureux d'être français et de nous supporter tout au long de l'année. Ciao. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you, Sylvain. So as we said, there's a tight battle in the elite men. The elite women are no different. Laura Smulders crashed yesterday in her opening round, also injuring her shoulder and her arm. She had worked through the day. She came back 2nd place behind Mariana Pajon. Mariana Pajon gained some points, but there's still a big discrepancy between 1st and 2nd overall points in the elite women's class. If they both make the main, Laura Smulders would have to get 7th. Mariana Pajon would have to win, but anything could happen. We've seen it so far. We've seen the best riders in the world go down on the laps, so it'll be interesting to see as we work through the rest of the day's program here at the final stop of Santiago del Estero for the 2017 UCI BMX Supercross World Cup Tour. So we're going to get back to the race action here in just a few minutes, but as you can see here, the riders are all relaxed. A lot of riders are anticipating towards the day of racing, but at the same point, Summit Riders is the last race of their season. There's still a few big races in the United States of America afterwards, but right now, as we said, this is the World Cup Finals, and these riders are looking to get the best they can, do the best positions for the day, and have that overall ranking be there when time's over. So we'll get back up to Jason and see how things are propelling out for these riders here at the 2017 UCI BMX Supercross World Cup Finals in Santiago del Estero.
Okay, back. Pete having a great conversation with our points leader. Sylvain Andre, as we see him flying with Corbin Schraw just behind him from round one. Sylvain Andre having a crash in practice. That does not feel good heading into the race day. With a bloody arm. Nonetheless, Van Tannen managing to maintain composure. Kaisa Kakibara looking to turn his day around, winning his moto. Kyle Evans not off to the best start on the start, unlikely for him. Vandenberg taking it straight to the front today. Dave Vandenberg with that textbook Dutch style, Merino in tow, doing it for his home country, Argentina. Twan Van Gent had a spectacular crash yesterday. Manages to get through the first round with a first place finish. In this round we see Van Gorkum in 1 and Godet in 2. And they will finish that way as they head into the next round. So far all the players have made it through. And on the women's side, just as much intensity there. As we see Pajón, this great aerial view of the track. Santiago del Estero. Sylvain Andre having some fun for the camera. They call it goon riding, but when he's racing, he's not a goon at all. With the first place in Papendal, second place in Zolder, third place yesterday. He wins the overall if he manages to maintain a fourth place finish or better. So, easier said than done, that's for sure. As we've seen yesterday, anything can happen in BMX Supercross. Always nice to see that these riders have a great sense of humor. Laura Smulders, she has had an awesome season with 3 first place finishes. Only 1 6th place and a 2nd place yesterday. She needs a 6th place or better in the final to win. With the smaller field, that is something she can definitely do. But as we saw yesterday in the first moto, even she can go down. So you never know what can happen. So both riders, Andre and Smulders respectively, have their work cut out for them as the pressure mounts. It's their titles to lose this weekend, it looks like. The BMX, UCI BMX Supercross World Cup. We're about to go into the last chance qualifiers. What that means is you need 4th or better. Otherwise, you are done for the day. If you get 4th or better, you move on to the 8th finals. Start list. Last chance, Heat 1, Rios, Espejo, Fini, Rojas, Mercado, Vaca, and Aguirre. 4 Argentinians looking to make it to the next round. We'll see if the home country advantage works.
Okay, riders, random start.
As we're official.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
Out of the gate they go. We have an Argentinian straight to the front. That would be Espejo taking it to the front on that Speedco. So it's going to be Espejo, Rojas, and Rios. So Argentina, Chile, and Argentina 1, 2, and 3 as they hop into the second corner. Espejo looking kind of nice. Looks like we see a little bit of action going on in that second corner. Espejo getting charged on by Rios. So it's going to be Espejo still as Rios is going to go for the first place anyway. Looking for lane positioning, I'm guessing, as Rios takes it over, followed by Espejo, Fini, and Mercado. It will be a photo finish between Rijo and Espejo. I think Rios may have gotten it, though. Official, Rijos, Espejo, Fini, and Mercado. Unfortunately, Aguirre, Rojas, and Vaca have to end their day. Next up, Katana, Ikegami, Yoshi, Webster, Hasegawa, and Liendo. The Japanese heavy moto. As they all line up with the Argentinian in lane 1.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Last chance, Heat 2. Out of the gate they go. Looks like Japanese rider straight to the front. That will be Yoshi. He'll be contested by nobody as he goes into the first corner. But Webster coming out nicely, the German. So it's going to be Yoshi and Webster, followed by Japan in 3 as well. That would be Ikegami. Ikegami going underneath Webster. So now he wants to challenge his countryman as Webster might take advantage of both of them going into the last corner. But there's just not enough room. Yoshi, Ikegami, Webster, 1, 2, and 3. All eyes are on 4th, which is a ways back. There was a wreck in the 3rd straightaway. So it looks like the Argentinian rider is going to make it through by way of staying out of that crash. The riders on the gate waiting for the track to clear. As we head into this, looks like the Japanese rider casing the jump and then falling over into the other rider. We only have 3 up. What you see is what you get right there. And then as you can see just in the back, the Argentinian rider making it up to get through. So that would be Liendo. Katana, his countryman, and Hasegawa unfortunately done. Last chance, Heat 3, Guzman, Zuleta, Aguirre, Bertolini, Viola, and Lopez. All looking to get into that next round. Looking to make a name for themselves. Many of the big names have already qualified through. Looks like lane 2 off to a great start. That would be Zuleta, but it looks like the inside rider from lane 1 is going to take it into the first corner, and that would be Guzman. So it's going to be Guzman, Zuleta, and Aguirre, 1, 2, and 3, as they head into the second turn. Looks like Zuleta jumping a bit high. Guzman, Zuleta, and Aguirre. Guzman running away with it as Zuleta seems to be dropping back. Not sure if he's going to get past. He manages to stay in second, but right now it's all Guzman by himself in the last straightaway as he makes it quite easily out of this round. Zuleta, Aguirre, and Bertoline, 2, 3, and 4. They will make it through to the 8th finals. They live to race again. The official, Guzman, Zuleta, Aguirre, and Bertolini, excuse me. Last chance, heat 4. Concha, Del Santo, Godoy, Shimada, Alex Rude, Rocabado, and Pacheco. Pacheco choosing a lane all by himself. Way out in 8. A Chilean rider in lane 1.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Last chance, heat 4. Looks like the first one down the hill is Alex Rude, the European, the Norwegian, but it's going to be Concha, followed by Alex Rude and Godoy. So it's going to be Concha, Alex Rude, and Godoy, 1 through 3. Alex Rude getting dove on. Godoy going for the whole thing as he goes by Concha as they bunch up in the rhythm section. Looks like 5 gentlemen going for 4th place. Chilean rider moves back to 3. Concha moves back to 3. Alex Rude finds his way back into 2nd. So it's going to be Chile, Norway, Chile, and Argentina. Godoy, Alex Rude, 1 and 2. Got pretty busy down that 3rd straightaway. The official Godoy, Alex Rude, Concha, and Del Santo, the Argentinian, getting that 4th and final spot. Next time we see the elite men, it will be for the 8th finals. That was the last chance qualifier, so from here on out, all the riders left, single elimination, so 4th or better will keep you in the game. 5th or worse will send you home. Heading up to the hill, we see the ladies, the elite women, as they gear up for their last chance qualifier. And it truly is the last chance, unless they get 4th or better, because the Supercross season is coming to an end today. We crown 2 champions. These young women are looking to make a name for themselves on the UCI BMX Supercross circuit. And there's no better place than to do so here in Santiago del Estero. This beautiful Sunday afternoon. Not a cloud in the sky. The conditions couldn't be more perfect. We're on hold for a brief moment. We apologize about that. Usually when that happens, we want to make sure everything's just perfect. World Cup wins since 2007. Marish the Machine is on top of the heat with 8 World Cup wins, followed by Liam Phillips and Sam Willoughby with 6. Connor Fields is here today looking to at least get his 6th win here. Interesting note, Maris, Liam, and Sam not raced much these last couple of years, so quite interesting that they managed to still be on top of the heap. With the women, Mariana Pajón, 9 Supercross wins. It's amazing. Laura Smolder with 8. Very possible to get number 9 today. Letitia Lecorguil with 7. And Caroline Buchanan, resident superstar, on the list as well. So, keeping small company as it pertains to Supercross wins. Next up, elite women, last chance. 4th or better will get them to the quarterfinals. Only 1 round for the women. last chance, and they are Tushera, Restrepo, Carrera, Nagare, Bolé, Ruarte, and Hatakeyama. Full gate of 8, anything can happen. Gets quite crowded on the first straight sometimes with 8 people on that gate, so we will see how it goes down as they all line up. You can see the focus in their eyes. Definitely a moment of truth, so to speak. As they all rise up, we're official for the starters call. Last chance, heat 1, women's elite.
Ready, watch the game.
Out of the gate they go. Let's see if the Canadian manages to take advantage of lane 1. Looks like so far so good. She does. She will come out in first. So that's Teixeira, followed by Restrepo and Carrera, respectively. Carrera looking to make a move into second place. There she goes down with, but Nagare going into second. Teixeira running away with it all the way down the last straight. So it's going to be the Canadian show in and out of the last corner as Teixeira will qualify, most likely followed by Nagare, the Japanese rider, for the second place. And the Colombian Bolé for third. Still waiting for fourth place to cross the line. We'll see in the second straight. Looks like Colombian rider gets a little crooked. This Ecuadorian rider gets a little crooked and runs into the Colombian rider, Restrepo. So Carrera goes into Restrepo in the second straight and causes a big crash. 4 riders going down. Waiting for the official. And that would be Teixeira, Nagare, Bolé, and Ruarte from Argentina, just making it through. And that'll do it for the women's last chance. Next time we see them, it will be single elimination as well. Making sure the track is clear as we see some women coming off the track. Japanese rider, Colombian rider. They really put it all out there on the track, literally and figuratively so. Cool. Okay, so this is a fun piece. Yesterday I was talking about the 2 different hills. We have the big 8-meter hill, which is for elite racing, and now there's challenge racing. So these special few younger up-and-coming kids have an opportunity to race in front of the pros. They'll be going on the smaller hill, the 5-meter hill. So during our intermission breaks from here and there, we will have some challenge racing for your entertainment pleasure. And enjoy.
All right, fans, we're back here in the pits, and now we are graced by royalty, the queen of BMX, Mariana Pajon. Mariana, great run yesterday, taking that win, narrowing the gap for the overall points. How was your day? Let the fans know how it went for you.
It went good. First qualification round, just to relax, just starting the day, and I felt good.
So you felt good all the way through. When you got to that main event, just talk us through the lap, because it was pretty uneventful, but of course it was always at full speed. The women out there battling all the way through the track.
Yesterday was a good day. We always have good riders, so you have to be 100%. And I was just enjoying the track. This track is really good. It's wide open and it's perfect for racing. So I was just enjoying the day with the fans, with the crowd, with the atmosphere. It was great.
So now we move on to the last day, the World Cup finals. Not to jump ahead, but yeah, one last thing about yesterday. Crossing the line, the crowd really went crazy for you. So what's it like for you to win a World Cup in South America?
Always to race here it's amazing. I feel like home. The crowd, the atmosphere. We speak the same language. We are like one country when we are in Latin America. So it was great.
So yeah, today's the World Cup finals. Looking fast already, had that first run. So working your way through the program, what are your expectations for yourself for the rest of the day?
Just become my best how I can be. Like I'll be doing one lap by lap, and let's see what happens. I just want to feel good.
And then so for all our Spanish-speaking fans, give them your word of how the day is going and how you're feeling so far this weekend.
Bueno, me estoy sintiendo muy bien. Ahora les puedo hablar en español, así que mucho mejor. Muchas gracias por todo el cariño, por el apoyo. Estamos acá en la final de las Copas Mundo en Santiago del Estero y ya corrí la primera ronda de clasificación. Vamos a cuartos del final y vamos con todo.
All right, so last question. Up for the World Cup title. It's going to take quite a bit, but for you, your plan is what for the rest of the day?
Well, just keep consistent and do lap by lap, and just I will do my best. And at the end of the day, we'll see. But we have good riders, so I don't know, everything can happen.
All right, well, thank you so much, and good luck for the rest of the day. So Mariana Pajon currently sitting in second in the elite women's points, but when it comes to the overall lead in the classification, it's none other than last year's overall World Cup champion, Laura Smulders. Laura, thanks for joining us. Another successful year on the World Cup Tour, 3 wins. Yesterday, things went a little bit haywire in the beginning of the day. Talk us through that.
Yeah, it didn't really go as planned, of course. I crashed in the first lap, got me a little bit off, but luckily I had a last chance qualifier after it, so got back on the bike, taped up and everything, got a painkiller, and just try to be safe and get through those laps, lap at a time. So well, I got first in the LCQ, and then second in the quarter, second in the semi, and second in the final. So I was really happy to come over the finish line in that final, because I thought after my crash I wasn't going to be able to ride anymore. So really happy I got a podium finish again. Good for the points, of course, so we'll see what I can do today.
How difficult was it for you to get back up? Because that crash was pretty bad. Let alone did you crash, land pretty much flat on the ground. You also got ran into. It took a while to get up, rode off the track holding your arm. You came back, though, throughout the rest of the day. You seemed to be better and better throughout the rest of the day.
Yeah, after that crash I felt sick because my hand hurt so much because of all the skin was gone and my nail was gone. So yeah, that hurt pretty much, and I got sick and I felt dizzy. So I didn't really know if I could ride. So I got up the stairs for the LCQ and I still didn't really feel well. But when I was on the gate, I think the adrenaline started pumping through my body, and it helped really much. Came down the finish line and I got sick again. So same thing. But then the painkiller started working, I think, so the pain got less and then I felt less sick, so each lap after that got better.
So how gratifying was it for you to come back to be able to get second after all of the adversity of yesterday's crash?
Yeah, I came down the finish line second, and I was just like, it felt like a win, because it was hurting so much and I thought I wasn't be able to ride again and lost my title almost, so I was really happy I could go back on the bike and ride those laps and get second still.
Okay, so now today we move into these World Cup finals. You still have a pretty big lead. I believe you just have to get 7th or better in the main event if Mariana's to win. How's the day going for you so far?
Yeah, well, I managed to stay on the bike this first lap, so that's a good thing. Yeah, I feel fine. I can hold my bars. It hurts a little bit, but that's it. It's BMX. I just gotta go and do those other laps, same as yesterday. Just want to get it lap by lap, get a good gate and a smooth lap, and then I'll hope I can be on the podium again in the final.
And then if you can do that, you will take that title. How gratifying will it be to win back-to-back World Cup titles?
Yeah, it would be really, really good. I won it last year. I had a really good season this year, except for the Worlds. It was a little bit of a downside for me, but you know, getting back on the World Cup season again and then finishing it off with this weekend, I hope it's going to be a great finish, and then hopefully I can take the win home again.
All right, so let's give the Dutch fans your words of encouragement, how you're feeling in Dutch, so they know how you're doing, straight into the camera.
Ik voel me top. Ik ga gewoon mijn best doen. Net als gisteren, rondje voor rondje, goede starts maken en ik heb er heel veel zin in. Het is mooi weer, het waait een beetje, maar ja, ik ga mijn best doen en we zien het wel.
All right, well, congratulations on a successful season up to date, and good luck for the rest of the day.
Thank you, Pete. Thank you.
All right, so there you have it, the head-to-head competitors right now in the closest in points in Elite Women. It's going to be a good battle. So we're getting close, getting ready. You see the riders behind us, the Elite Men. They're warming up as they're going to go into those eighth or quarterfinals, making that single elimination racing coming around. And it's going to be interesting to see who can make their way through the program. You can also see it's a little bit windier. The wind's picked up, the temperatures have picked up, but that wind is going to be the thing that's going to be dangerous for some of these riders. They haven't been used to it. There's still big jumps on this track. They're still going really fast. And you remember how high they are on the 8-meter starting hill when they're getting ready for that competition. And a gust of wind could catch them off their game when they're getting ready for that gate start. So let's get back ready to the race action. I'm Pete D in the pits. Let's give it back to Jason, and we'll see you here shortly. We have one more segment as we get ready to round things down here at the 2017 UCI BMX Supercross World Cup Finals.
Back, hopefully. Titles on the line. We're panning across this track. See both the end of the second meet up. Saw a pretty big and unfortunate crash in that last chance qualifier between Carrera and Restrepo. 3 of them went down, only 1 survived. Now we'll be heading into the single elimination rounds. 4th or better will get you to the next round. So far, all the players have made it through. That is to say, everyone in mathematical contention for a title in both the men's and women's elite class have made it through. So we still have a race to be run and a title to be decided upon. As you can see here, it's a clear day. Santiago del Estero. You look up to the first turn, that Dan's comp flag is blowing a little bit. The wind has picked up since yesterday, and it has affected a couple of riders, as we saw in the women's last chance. And again in some of the men's qualifiers. Trey White getting blown just a bit, going from second to third. So the wind is a factor, not a major factor, but it does play a role just a bit, and it'll gust up every now and then. That said, whose belief is bigger when they get on the gate? Who will take it across the line in first, second, third, or fourth? That's the question. See the officials making their way out, media making their way back out to the track. That only means that the riders must be gearing up behind the hill. We will see the elite men next in their 8th final. Those that get 4th or better will move on to the quarterfinals. Some have said, those that know, that sometimes the quarterfinal is more difficult than the semi. Elite men start list, 8th final, heat number 1. Torres, Jones, Nihal, Godet, Palmer, Nakai, Klashenko, and Aguirre wasting no time as it is stacked right off the bat. Torres with lane choice. He chooses one. Jones and Nihog have 2nd and 3rd pick respectively. Head up to the hill. You see Nakai loosening up. Palmer putting his goggles on. He wants to make another main. He liked that feeling of making the main. I don't know if he was too pleased with his finish. He wants to improve upon that. Look at one of the elder statesmen, Mr. Damian Godet. He too, as well as the youngsters in the crowd looking up at the gate, eager to see their favorite rider do their thing. Number 143, that would be yesterday's winner, Ezequiel Torres, as he takes that deep breath, pressing that reset button as he gets in lane 1. Jones and Nihog in lane 3 as they all get ready. 8th finals, heat 1. Waiting for the official call. And here we go. We're live.
Okay, Ryder, random start. Ryder is ready. Watch the gate.
Out of the gate they go. Jones not off to his best start. Torres, one of his better starts, as he's going to take it straight to the front. Jones laying in tight. Looks like Godet dives in for the second underneath Jones and Nihog. Nihog goes around Godet, so now it's going to be Torres, Jones, and Nihog 1, 2, and 3 with Godet on the bubble. He's going to have to fight for it because Palmer is not going to let him loose, going for that 4th place position. Torres is going to walk away with it, followed by Jones and Nihog. The race, though, will be Palmer and Godet. Godet edging out Palmer for that qualifying spot. All seeming to come out pretty even. Jones known for better starts, getting a little bit crooked over that first jump, but Torres just handling business start to finish, sitting down on him, if you will, as he crosses the finish line. Godet getting that last spot. The official will be Torres, Jones, Nihog, and Godet. Pete, what did you see?
I just see Torres definitely looking confident down that first straightaway, because if you look at the pack that he just had in that 8th final, definitely stacked, as well as heat number 2, Jason.
Yes, Vandenberg, Molina, Sakakibara, Benzik, White, Ruiz, Finney, and Ikegami. Full gate of 8. Track can get quite crowded at times when you have 8 people on the gate. A lot of heat on the inside with Molina, Vandenberg, and Sakakibara, and White. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All of these gentlemen known for those strong first straightaways, so we'll see if they can't cancel each other out.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
Heat 2, Molina nails another start, puts it to Vandenberg. Trey White in second. Let's see if he moves over on Vandenberg. He has a good, nice shot, clean into second. So it's going to be Molina and White, followed by Vandenberg, 1, 2, and 3. Dutch Rider fighting with Sakakibara for that 4th place position. Sakakibara just edging him out right now. They still have the rhythm section to go as Molina is walking away with it. White, Vandenberg, Sakakibara, looks like those will be your 4 as they head down the last straight, barring anything catastrophic. The crowd liking that, watching Torres and then Molina putting it to him as we see Molina going through this 2nd straight. Trey White actually on his tail just a bit. Molina riding these turns, getting a lot of pedals out of that 2nd corner, and then finishing up with a nice little finish line lunge, knowing how important it is for lane choice.
Yeah, Sakakibara, I just spoke with him. He said he had a consistent day yesterday, consistently 3rd or 4th, but he got him into the main, and you see right now he gets 4th again behind Vandenberg, White, Molina. He transfers into those quarterfinals. Next up, it'll be heat number 3, Jason, in these 8th finals.
Heat number 3, Ramiro Marino, Shippers, Van Gorka, Montenegro, Diaz, Rios, Zuleta, and Conches. Ramiro in lane 1. See if he could take advantage of it. Heat 3.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
Out of the gate they go. Ramiro seems to be in the 3rd place position, but Van Gorkum from the outside just putting the horsepower down. So it's going to be Van Gorkum, Shippers, and Marino. Looks like some action's going on in the 2nd straight as the top 3 seem to be pulling away even further as they go down the rhythm section. So it's still going to be Van Gorkum, Shippers, and Marino, 1, 2, and 3, as the battle for 4th might be uncontested as we see the Argentinian rolling up for the 4th place of Rios.
Yeah, solid run there from Van Gorkum. Had a good run, and you can see right here Montenegro from Argentina gets a little crossed up coming out of turn 1. That's why the crowd let out that sigh, but everyone cheered as Jelly Van Gorkum comes across the line with the victory of head of Marino, Shippers, and Rios. Those are your 4 qualifiers here in heat number 3.
Yeah, it's got to be disappointing for Montenegro. He was in a good qualifying position, got a little loose in that 2nd straight, and that's all it took. Rios, Shippers, Marino, and Van Gorkum moving on to the quarterfinals. Next up, Heat 4, Shira, Kiman, Evans, Calixto, Rios, Agudelo, Godoy, and Del Santo. All eyes will be on the world champion. He'll be in lane 1. Kyle Evans looking to get a better start than he did his 1st round, that's for sure. As we're live, ready to go.
Random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Nick Kiman, uncharacteristic of him, very late start. Corbin Shira and Kyle Evans out quite nicely. It'll be Shira, Evans, and Kiman finding his way into 3rd, coming out of the 1st corner. Shira, Evans, Kiman 1, 2, and 3 as they head into the 2nd corner and out of the 2nd corner in the same positions. Going down the rhythm section, looks like Kiman is finding some space between himself and 4th place. Always a good thing as Shira and Evans will take it to the finish line, 1 and 2, followed by Kiman and Calixto.
Yeah, it looked like Kiman laid back ever so slightly out of the gate, something you don't expect, but maybe it was just a bad gate. But either the way, there was going to be a good battle with Shira and Evans up there. Kiman joins them, and then Calixto's the one to take that last qualifying spot here in heat number 4.
Yeah, it's a great race by Calixto getting in there for Colombian. Kiman in 3rd, Evans in 2nd, and Shira in 1st. Kiman getting through. Next up, Navrstad, Komarov, Goyes, Yoshimura, Santillan, Chappelle, the Chappelle Show. Aslexrud and Liendo. Again, full gate of 8. Anything can happen, and it can get crowded out there. 4th or better, get you through.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Navrstad nailed that gate last round. Let's see if he can do it again. He's going to take that speed coat and do the same thing. Seems like he's found some speed today as Navrstad comes out of the first turn in first, followed by the Russian and Chappelle. So it's going to be Navrstad, Russian catching a little bit too much air. Chappelle making a move on Komarov as Chappelle jumps into second place. Komarov now making a move on Chappelle. Komarov going off the track. Not sure what the officials are going to say about that, but either way, Navrstad handling business as he takes it all the way to the line, followed by Goyes, Chappelle, Aslexrud getting through, Komarov out of it.
Yeah, it was Yoshimura goes down on that first straightaway right here, heading up just high sides off of Komarov's rear wheel, and you said Komarov went off that track, tried to come back in without advancing a spot, unfortunately went off in 3rd or 4th, comes back in 5th, so that's not going to make a difference other than his day is over. So for those riders, definitely an action-packed rack there in heat number 5 with Navrstad, Goyes, Chappelle, and Askaford are the riders making their way through.
Yes, and it looks like they moved Komarov to last place for missing an obstacle anyway. That's unfortunate. Heat 6, Ramirez, the Magician, Pizarro, Shaw, Palominos, Matsushita, Kafa, Webster, and Mercado. Look up to the gate. We see the Magician in lane 1. Next to him, the Argentinian and Schaub, the German in 3rd. Riding very respectably, and we are ready. Heat 6, 8 finals.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
Out of the gate they go. Looks like Ramirez straight to the front. Next to him is Schaub, the German. So it's going to be Ramirez and Schaub in and out of the first turn. Pizarro in 3rd. So Ramirez, Schaub looking quite nice as they jump down the second straight into the second corner. Argentinian blasts in the 3rd place. That would be Pizarro as they head down the rhythm section, looking to do the same thing. The Chilean pulling up on Pizarro, but it's not going to be enough. So right now it's Ramirez, Schaub, Pizarro, 1, 2, and 3 with the Chilean gentleman in 4th making it through. That will be Palominos getting through to the quarterfinal.
Yeah, Palominos just out edges Matsushita down that 3rd and 4th, the 3rd straightaway. You see Palominos pass him right there going into turn number 2, but no one was going to pass Carlos Ramirez, the little magician, making his way across the line, taking that victory in heat number 6. Ramirez, Schwab, Pizarro, Palominos are your 4 qualifiers.
Next up, 8th final, heat 7. Connor Fields, Twan Van Gent, Arbodella, Guzman, Rios, Arenas, Quintanilla, and Bertolini. All eyes on lanes 1 and 2.
Okay, riders, random start.
Fields and Van Gent.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
Connor Fields looking to open it up along with Twan Van Gent, and that is exactly what they do heading down the first straight. Fields with amazing first straightaway. Twan Van Gent is not easy to beat down the first straightaway as Fields pulls away down the second straight. Twan Van Gent in his favorite spot of the track, he manages to land the jump yet again in second place, as he will be in second place, following Fields. In 3rd place, the Colombian Arbodella in 3rd, making his way around. So it's going to be Fields, Van Gent, Arbodella, fight for 4th. That will be Rios beating out Guzman.
You can see, Jason, as you said, Twan Van Gent known for his impressive first straightaway, but so is Connor Field, opening it up, taking it into turn number 1, and all the way across the line. Twan Van Gent definitely excited to come across that line in second, as you said, and a good race there for that 4th and final transfer position that Rios took away from Guzman, and Arbodella was in there for that 3rd place result.
Next up, 8 finals, heat 8. We have D'Souza, Andre, Pelior, Nagasako, Sebesto, Espejo, Yamaguchi, and Yoshi. Strong Japan contingent here in this rack. D'Souza getting to the semi yesterday. He's in lane 1. Andre in 2.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Andre with a little bit of a late gate, but that's okay. His
You're not here.
pedals
I mean,
1, 2, and 3 are that much more powerful. Sebesta's out there in 4th. He better get inside, or otherwise he's going to be out of it. The American, he's going to be in 4th place right now, but Andre running away with it in turn 2 with his countryman, Pelliward in 2nd. Sebesta finds his way to 3rd place. Good move by him to ensure himself as they head down the 3rd straightaway. Right now it's all Andre, followed by Pelliward and Sebesta. Sebesta now having a little bit of trouble on the last straight because he's getting pressed by D'Souza for the 4th.
Yeah, it was a good race there for that 3rd, 4th position. But right here out front, Silva and Andre. Coming back from that crash earlier today, he said he's doing all right, and he looks all right as he goes out on that track. Has a giant lead over Pelliward and a good battle between Sebesta and D'Souza. Those are the 4 riders making their way into today's quarterfinals, Jason.
Yeah, the official Andre, Pelliward, Sebesta. Great race by him and D'Souza. Nagasako, Yamaguchi, Yoshi, unfortunately, we'll have to wait till next season for another Supercross round. That was the 8th finals of the men. Next time we see the men, it will be the quarterfinals.
So really good racing out there, Jason. The weather's definitely, the temperatures are up, but so is the wind. Hasn't really affected too many riders because there's not that many big jumps on the track. But that, welcome to the UCI BMX Supercross World Cup Finals here in Argentina, Santiago del Estero. The track here is incredible. Jason, talk us through a lap around the track here in Santiago.
Yes, Jason Richardson here going to take you down the hill and over the first double. Then you have a quick little roller. Step up, double step down. As we see yesterday's winner, Ezekiel Torres, taking us down the 2nd straight over the first double, down the 2nd double. Quick roller and then another double into the 2nd corner. Want to stay low, watch your line here as we take this roller. They're going to jump on over the double, another double, roll this double, hit this double, and then a roller into the last corner. Coming out of the last corner, you're going to have a tabletop. Legs are burning here. Step up. Nice smooth double here. And then manual it all in like Nick Kimmin is doing. Down into the finish line area. De nada.
So the World Cup Finals, we're up to the quarterfinals for the day. Jason, the track here is pretty amazing in Santiago del Estero.
Yes, they've been hosting a World Cup here since 2013. voted 2 times the best Supercross event by the riders, so that says a lot, as these riders have been all over the world racing the best tracks. So here we are, round number 6, stop number 3, Santiago del Estero, Argentina.
So definitely a lot on the line today. Riders going for that overall title. Tight battles between the elite men and the elite women. As you said, here at the finals, anything and everything can happen. We're into the single elimination portion of the day. Top 4 move on, top 4 move to these stands, which there isn't much room, maximum capacity of the fans here in Argentina.
That's right, top 4 move on, bottom 5th or worse, unfortunately have to wait till next season, so that's a rough one to take. Definitely want to end the season on a high note and a good one. We have a title chase, both in the men and women. Smulders with a pretty commanding lead, however, not out of the woods yet. Andre, though, if he makes the main, he still has to get a 4th or better. And as we know in the elite men's category, anything can happen, like you said, Pete.
And we had some great racing yesterday. As you said, those title contenders. Mariana Pajon, who sat back in 3rd before yesterday's main event, she went on to take the victory, propelled her into spot number 2 overall. And in the elite men's, it was 2 surprise winners from here in Argentina. They're not in the title hunt, but what a day it was yesterday for Argentina in the elite men's class, Jason, in that main event.
Yes, Molina and Torres definitely made their country proud, but right here, looking at Silva and Andre having a little bit of fun in the air, goon riding. That's okay, though, because with the first place, he's been very consistent making all of those mains. First place, second place, and a 3rd place. So that's 3 podium finishes. He gets the title if he gets 4th or better in that main event. Again, easier said than done.
Yeah, consistency is the key to having a successful season. And as you can see, a 1st, 2nd, and 3rd are really what propelled him. 8th and 9th, just being outside of that main event, didn't help, but obviously it didn't hurt as he comes into these finals with the overall lead right now in the elite men's chase here on the UCI BMX Supercross World Cup Tour.
Yes, and that 9th place technically is a 5th in the semi, which, when the points get pretty tight, those 5th in the semis tend to hurt. So that main event, another main event would have been nice to boost him in the points. Yet, again, though, he still has a lead and a pretty sizable one. But as we see over in the women's side, Laura Smulders, definitely consistent. 3 first-place finishes, the only 1 time off the podium. She needs a 6th or better to maintain her lead and take home the World Cup BMX Supercross title.
And with those results, it sounds pretty easy, but drama in Stoked yesterday when she had that crash. The hand that she's holding up in that photo is heavily bandaged. They actually had to remove a few of her fingernails because this surface here on the track is ultra grippy, but when you crash on it, it's basically like rubbing sandpaper on your skin, even with these uniforms, pads, everything else at these high speeds. And those riders out here know what it's like. You know what it's like, Jason. As a past world champion, a past elite rider, crashing is never fun, but definitely at these high speeds, on these big jumps, and those huge asphalt turns.
For sure. Put my hand on that surface. Can't really see it, but it is definitely, it's an aggregate of some sort. They soil tack it, they seal it, but then to make it extra grippy, they add some kind of texture to it. So it's definitely a rough surface. All of these riders are wearing pads and protection. However, we never know exactly what and how we're going to hit the ground when it happens. So the drama can still unfold here in Santiago del Estero at the UCI BMX Supercross World Cup, round number 6.
And when we get into racing, we're going to jump right into the elite women's quarterfinals. Definitely some action-packed racing. These ladies are looking to make their way through those main events. A little bit, the field's been whittled down, but still it's 8 riders on the gate, on the track at a time, and as Jason alluded to, anything and everything can happen in a BMX race. The best riders in the world crash. Other riders that you haven't heard of surprise us with a victory or on the podium, so it'll be interesting to see how things unfold here at the final round of the UCI 2017 BMX World Cup title tour. A lot of the points, titles on the line, as well as a lot of pride, Jason. The last World Cup of the year. For some riders, this is the last race of their season. It'll be interesting to see how they can wind things up after such a long World Cup tour here in 2017.
Yeah, you know, there was a bit of a break. You had the World Championships, so it was a bit of a break. I was talking to the Russian coach earlier because, you know, Bondarenko was riding well yesterday, winning every lap except the main event. He was saying essentially after the World Championships, they didn't do much because the season had been so kind of long and hard already that they didn't do much. They just went home and recovered and rested and got well for this race. So everyone has a little bit of different of a strategy. However, this time of year, the season does tend to get long, heading into the fall, summer's ending, and so right now we want to the riders want to wrap this up, finish on a high note, and make sure that they also finish healthy as well.
And the elite ladies are making their way up to the hill now for their quarterfinals. And as you said, one of the riders in this race, Stephanie Hernandez, Olympic medalist last year, she said the same thing. Came away after the World Championships. She just basically hasn't done anything. She felt really good yesterday. Mentally, physically, she said her body wasn't cooperating, but she was in the main event. She placed fourth, but it'll be interesting to see because right here, when we move into this first of the quarterfinals, it's pretty stacked, and two of the title contenders are in this one, so it'll be interesting to see, along with Hernandez, what happens as those riders get on track here in Santiago del Estero.
That's right. You see the Tioga banners, wind's blowing them ever so gently. Yesterday, the wind wasn't blowing as much, so it's played a bit of a factor today, just a bit, as we head into the quarterfinals for the women. See our golden girl, Mariana Pajón, Olympic gold medalist, two-time Olympic gold medalist, up on top of the hill, keeping it light, having conversation for now. I don't think she'll be doing much talking on the track with her mouth, but with her legs. Women quarterfinals coming up next. Fourth or better will get them to the semifinals. Fifth or worse will send them home.
Yeah, that's not the way you want to end your season anywhere, but especially on this World Cup tour, especially traveling halfway around the world for a lot of these riders to Argentina. Such a great venue to come into. And as we get into that, here is the first of the elite women's quarterfinals, Jason.
Here we are. Christensen, Pajón, Hernandez, Husman, and Nagare. Only 5 women on the gate. You will see the gate won't be full. However, what that means is if you're in 4th place in these laps, you could be a sitting duck because that 5th place person has the whole track to work with. And sometimes you're at the mercy of the person in 3rd or 2nd. So it's not always easier if there's less people on the track, especially when it's Christensen, Pajón, and Hernandez on the gate.
So Mariana Pajón, as Jason said, 2-time Olympic champion. She was our winner yesterday. Definitely one of the strongest riders on tour. Currently 2nd in the rankings. It's going to take a lot for her to be able to do it. But first things first, she's got to make her way out of this quarterfinal. These ladies are lined up for today's first quarterfinal here in Santiago del Estero for the UCI BMX Supercross World Cup Finals. It's going to be interesting to see, Jason. They've been off track for a little bit, so they're ready to get back on, get in the flow, as now the program will continue just about every 20 minutes. They'll be on track, racing, and going for full glory for the day.
Full glory. The women have had a bit longer of a break than the men, so they should be rested. And we'll see them coming up shortly.
Yeah, it looks like they're just loading into the gate now.
You can see the silhouettes. They're loading up into the gate now.
A little bit less of the overall numbers of women that are here in attendance for Argentina, but the power that's on that gate right now is second to none. So it'll be great to see, as you said, 5 women in the gate, 4 will advance on, but no one can play possum with these ladies when they're on gate here on the UCI BMX World Cup Tour. Let's get ready for the start of the first Elite Women's quarterfinal.
It looks like Pajón chose lane 2, your Olympic gold medalist. The Olympic bronze medalist, Hernandez, will be in 3. Christensen will be coming out of lane 1. Wait for the call to be official. And here we go.
Okay, riders, random start. Rider is ready. Watch the gate.
Will the golden bike take it to the front? So far, so good. Looks like Hernandez with a pretty good start as well as Pajón powers past her. So it's going to be Pajón and Hernandez with Christensen in 3rd. Kind of a low row down that first turn. So Christensen's going to move back as Pajón and Hernandez pull away from the 3rd place of Christensen as they head into the 3rd straight over the rhythm section. Christensen now catching up to Hernandez and passing her as they head into the last corner. Pete, bring us in.
So yeah, Mariana Pajón has that lead. Christensen in 2nd. Hernandez said she was going to feel the effects of not riding, and she's doing that right now with that 3rd place position. But Pajón and Christensen 1 and 2, Hernandez, and then Husman will be the last of the elite ladies to qualify. Jason, that was a really good start by Mariana Pajón and Stephanie Hernandez.
Yeah, Stephanie Hernandez had a great start, so looks like she's waking up from the first round, so to speak. Kind of going to turn it up as the day goes on is my guess, but yes, Pajón with a textbook start to finish win. Christensen with a good ride coming around Stephanie Hernandez in the third straight. And Huisman rounding out that fourth. So it's Pajón, Christensen, Hernandez, and Huisman. Unfortunately, Nagare will have to wait till next year to hit the Supercross circuit again. Quarterfinals, Heat 2 elite women, Asuero, Tuchera, Suvarova, Bollet, and Stevo. This one could be really anyone's race.
So it'll be interesting to see. Suvarova has had a good run. Tuchera, I think, from Canada, definitely looking to make her way into one of these finals. Carnival had a really good run yesterday, making her first main of the season, so it'll be interesting to see as these ladies are lined up in the gate here for quarterfinal number 2 for the elite women.
Asuero off to a great start as she goes straight to the front over the jump with Carnival. Stevo just on the outside, but the Russian's going to contest for first. So Suvarova and Asuero battling down the second straight. Asuero swearing she's going to stay in front all the way into the second corner as Stevo getting contested now by the Russian. Tuchera finds herself in a bit of trouble. She drops back to fifth, but right now it's all Asuero going into the last corner. Asuero, Suvarova, and Stevo, 1, 2, and 3. Will we see anything in fourth place happen? I don't know, Pete.
No, it looks like, unfortunately, for the Canadian, that's going to be the end of her day. But Bollet comes through, but a good run down here, and a lot of battling up in front from these top 3 ladies, Jason.
Yeah, Asuero really coming into our own today. Definitely turning it up a notch from yesterday, but looking really smooth and composed on her gate starts and around the track as well. So really impressed with Asuero and Stevo. Official Asuero, Suvarova, Stevo, and Bollet. Unfortunately, the Canadian will have to wait till next season to make her first Supercross main. Right now we're back up to the hill. Heat 3, George, Smulders, Bow, Peterson, and Ruarte. Featured rider Laura Smulders winning 3 Supercross events this season, only placing herself off of the podium once with a 6th place. Currently leading points, focused as ever. She'll be in lane 2. The Danimal, Danny George, is in lane 1, number 33, as we're official waiting for the start.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Out of the gate they go. Danny George said this morning she adjusted her gate start, and it shows. She said she lowered her pedal just a bit, and it worked. Her second pedal came around quite nicely as she comes in and out of the first turn in first, followed by Smulders and Bow. So we'll see if Danny George can maintain composure around the whole track. So far, so good, as it's going to be George, Smulders, and Bow, 1, 2, and 3. Battle might be for fourth as Peterson is trying to catch up to Bow right now.
So it looks like maybe Laura Smulders is riding a little bit calculated, just sitting in that second place spot, waiting for that last straightaway to open up. They come across the line. It's going to be a photo finish between George and Smulders, but a good run there for Danny George.
Yeah, great run for Danny George. Looks like she had a good start, solid finish. I'm going to say that George did end up getting the win, but yes, Smulders she's sneaky. She doesn't always look that fast, but she's actually blazing, so she might have. So it's no surprise that she caught her at the end, but I do think George might have edged her out by a knobby.
Yeah, the official results will be George, Smulders, Baugh, and Peterson. Definitely a good run there from Judy Baugh as well. She's had a good season. She's been in the main events, and she's trying to do that again today. So let's move to the last of the elite women's quarterfinals, Jason.
Bondarenko, Diaz, Afremova, Diaz, and Tano. Featured rider Bondarenko, she won every lap with exception of the main event yesterday. Only 20 years old, she's a current Russian national champion. She's finished on the podium before with a second place finish, so it wouldn't be a big surprise if she made that final and got on the podium again today.
And then you have Afremova from Russia as well. This youngster right here, number 116. Keep your eye out for her. And then Diaz sisters, definitely favorites here in Argentina.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Quarterfinals Heat 4 Elite Women. Looks like Bondarenko straight to the front. Diaz getting pinched. Gabriela Diaz getting pinched. Her sister behind her in 5th. She might dive into the 4th place, and she does. Diaz dives into 2nd place. I don't know, might be some mental telepathy going on, but they're definitely working it around the track as Bondarenko, Diaz, and now Afremova battling Diaz as they head into the 3rd straight. Looks like the Diaz sisters want 2 and 3. Afremova's going to fight that, but Bondarenko so far is running away with it. Right now, Bondarenko, double Diaz, and Afremova holding on for the 4th. I believe that's how they will finish.
What a great race that was, Jason. Mid-pack, they were all handlebar to handlebar, but it was a really good start out there for Bondarenko. And look right here, she just pulled away ever so slightly going into turn number 1. So we'll get ready for the moving over to the Elite Men's quarterfinals. Things are going to get just a little bit faster, but there are your official results from the last of the quarterfinals for those Elite Women.
Bondarenko, double Diaz, and Afremova, they will move on. Tano, unfortunately, has to join her other countrywoman and train for next year's Supercross series.
A great group of riders from Japan. They're in the building stage, and you can see right there how close that finish was. Definitely a great race there for those Elite Women. But now, Jason, we get a little bit faster. We move to the other side of the track for the Elite Men quarterfinals. Things are about to get a little bit faster and a little bit crazier.
Yes, so we have a gate of 8, full gates. Quarterfinals, 4th or better moves on to the semifinals. Next time we see the Elite Women will be the semifinals. But yes, moving toward the men, the Elite Men, they're going to have a full gate of 8 in these quarterfinals. Some of these gentlemen will be riding desperately, it being their first Supercross event or it being their last chance to have a great race before the season ends. And other riders will be riding to hold on to their points and hold on to their lead or hold on to their position. So this is where we see a lot of moves go down, and that track tends to get a little bit crowded in some places, Pete.
Yeah, sometimes the desire supersedes the skill, but not in this race right here,
Not
Jason.
at all. Quarterfinal Heat 1, Andre Molina, White, Keeman, Godet, Calixto, Palominos, and Rios.
Yeah, some of these riders, not a lot of opportunities to make their way into a UCI BMX Supercross World Cup final. This guy right here is no stranger to one.
Sylvan Andre, always a character. So far, he's sitting on top of the heap. He's only 24 years old, riding that Wii bicycle. The best finish is a first, nothing wrong with that. He'd like to put the nail in the coffin and get a first place today, so there's no question that he's the Supercross champion. Unfortunately, there's some other people on the gate that might disagree with that.
Yeah, every time you get on these gates here, Jason, in Elite Men, as you know from past experience, every single one of those guys has the feeling they can take that victory, but there's only one guy that actually can, and we've seen a lot of that happen this season so far from Sylvain Andre.
Yes, yes, and it'll be a good test because he's next to Molina. So Molina's been hole shotting all weekend long, and so Molina could cut or shut Andre down, not on purpose, but Molina's elbows can be quite wide when he comes out of that gate, so never know what's going to happen. Quarterfinal Heat 1, Elite Men. Let's go. Out of the gate they go. Looks like we do see a little bit of a bumping. Andre shuts down Molina. White out on good start, but he looks like he unclips, so he's going to be in 3rd with Kimmin just behind him. But right now it is Andre, Molina, and White. White leaving the door open for Kimmin, so now White's in trouble as he heads down the rhythm section. So far, though, it's Andre, Molina, Kimmin, and White. White has to get on it, otherwise he is not going to be in there. Nobody wants, as he has Godet behind him. So battle here, Andre, Molina, Kimmin. Looks like White just edges out Godet and gets through.
Yeah, what a race, Jason. Talk us through this first few pedals here.
Yeah, so it looks like you can see that they bump on the first few pedals, but it looks like Andre is not playing today, as he definitely got out of the gate and make sure he shut down Molina because he knows Molina's hole shotting, so he made it happen. Kimmin with a good race. Kimmin is not starting as well as he normally liked to start, but he's still finding his way qualifying. Trey White had a great start, but it looked like he came out of his pedals down that first straight, managed to hold on for 4th. not easy to do when Godet is in 5th behind you. So the official is Andre, Molina, Kieman, and White just making it through for Team GB. Next up, quarterfinals, Heat 2, Sherrod, Jones, Arbordello, the German of Schaub, Pizarra, the American Sebesto, Marino, and the Chappelle Show rounding out the lineup. The Cowboy, Corbin Sherrod, current world champion, 25 years old, just married in his first year of marriage, riding that daylight bike. Always a great attitude, kind of a calm, cool, casual kind of guy. He's in lane 1, not looking too casual right now. You can see the intensity in his face. Out of the gate they go. Looks like Jones off to a decent start. Leaves room for Sherrod, but Jones is going to take the commanding lead and take it all the way to the front. We have a slide out from a Colombian rider. Not sure who that was, but right now it's Jones, Sherrod, and I believe Marino in 3rd, the Argentinian. This is going to be great for him if he can get to the semi. So Jones, Sherrod, Marino. 4th place, Sebasta seems to be in trouble as the Chilean rider, or Chappelle, gets that 4th place. So it's going to be Jones, Marino, Sherrod, Chappelle. Unfortunately, Sebasta, he is done for the day.
You see this inside low move definitely did not work, unfortunately, for Abodella. Slides out, slides to the end of his World Cup season, but Trent Jones sliding around that turn with full power. Corbin Sherrod just on his outside, and you said Ramiro Marino making his way into that 3rd place spot. Definitely good to see him in there, and then with Chappelle in 4th place.
Yes, and Sherrod had a little bit of a case on the last straight, which bumped him back to 3rd, so that's going to affect lane choice in the semi, so we'll see how that works out. Official Jones, Marino, Sherrod, and Chappelle. The rest, we'll have to wait till next year. But right now, heat number 3, Torres, Evans, Nijhag, Van Gorkum, Sakaki Baro, Rios, Shippers, and Aslexrud. Featured rider Tori Nijhag, the Canadian and Canadian national champion. Best finishes a 2nd. He is yet to sit on top of the podium, but he is known for his consistency nonetheless. So it would be no surprise if he ended up with a big win here this weekend.
So all eyes will be on lane number 1, Ezequiel Torres, yesterday's winner. Can he repeat? He needs to make it through these quarterfinals and semifinals, and here we go with the gate start.
Torres is off to a good start, but it looks like Evans is out even better and might even shut him down. Looks like that's going to happen with Nijhag tucking in right behind Evans. Sakaki Barra just on the outside of Torres. Sakaki Barra looks like he might make a move on Torres, but I don't think that's going to happen. Right now it's all Evans and Nijhag with Torres in 3rd. And Sakaki Barra just barely holding on to that 4th place position down the rhythm section. We'll see what happens if the camera shows it. Not going to happen. Looks like the Colombian jumps into 4th place, but right now Evans, Torres, Nijhag, and Rios for 4th.
Rios just got ahead of Sakaki Bar going in the last turn, and Sakaki Bar actually boosted him, ran into the back of him, giving Rios a little bit extra power. But right here, Kyle Evans had all the power he needed to take a victory. Very impressive race for him here in this quarterfinal.
Yes, Kyle Evans looking to make a Supercross main outside of Manchester. Very capable, but definitely having troubles once we get to the semi. So this will be a great test for him as we move toward the semi. But the official is Evans, Torres, Nijhag, and Rios. Unfortunately, Sakaki Barra, the Australian national champion, has to wait till next year for another Supercross event. Heat 4, quarterfinals, elite men, Fields, Van Gent, Ramirez, Vanderberg, Naverstad, Peluard, De Sousa, and Goyez. I want to know if Naverstad can get another gate start, but that'll be hard to do because Connor Fields is so solid. Your Olympic champion, gold medalist. He's won a few of these Supercrosses before, riding that Chase carbon fiber bicycle. Pete, what do you think? Look at the intensity in his eyes.
Yeah, Connor Fields had a birthday this week, and he said nothing more would be the greatest present to win this overall World Cup title. He's got his work cut out for him, but first he has to make his way into that main event. Let's see if he can do so here by advancing through the quarterfinal, the last for the elite men here in Santiago del Estero for the World Cup finals.
Out of the gate they go. Looks like Twan Van Gent with a little bit of a wheelie. Doesn't matter, though. It's going to be Fields and Van Gent 1 and 2. Ramirez tucking in there, making magic happen, coming out of the first turn in 2nd. So it's going to be Fields, Ramirez, and Van Gent 1, 2, and 3. Vandenberg might be fighting for his life in fourth. We'll have to see what happens. Looks like that's the case, but he's got some business coming up on him. That would be Navrestad on the speed coast. So right now it is Fields, Ramirez, Van Gent, and Navrestad edging out Vandenberg for the final qualifying spot in heat number 4.
Yeah, you see, going into turn number 2, watch Twan Van Gent has a little bit of a bobble and has a little bit of insurance, getting a little bit perfectly situated for turn number 2, but that third place spot will be great. None better, though, than Connor Fields here as he takes the victory here in the last of the quarterfinals for the elite men, making his way into today's semifinal.
Yeah, Navrestad really riding well today. Great race for him. I mean, to pass Vandenberg. Vandenberg lacking a little bit of heat this weekend. Navrestad, Van Gent, Ramirez, and Fields, 4th through 1st respectively. Unfortunately, Vandenberg will have to wait till next year for another Supercross. That was the quarterfinals. Next time we see the elite men, it will be the semifinals. 2 gates of 8 for both groups. 2 gates of 8 for both groups. And we know things get hectic in the semifinals.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Definitely not the weekend Vandenberg was looking for. He was coming into this series in the top 3 of overall points. He moved back yesterday, unfortunately, with having a bad result in that main event. Today, he's not even going to make it to the semifinals. So now it looks like really a 2-man battle going for this overall title between Fields and Andre. Both are in through the program, so we'll see how things work out as we get through. And some of the earlier racing today, Jason, a lot of bar-to-bar action, high speeds, technical track. When you're next to somebody super close like that, how hard is it to race at your full capacity down this, like just right here, in that position, when you're next to somebody, how much do you have to rely on yourself versus worrying about somebody else?
Well, if you're worrying about someone else, then it's, I mean, you want to be, you're mindful of what's going on around you, that's for sure, but worrying about someone else, then you're definitely not riding your own race. So, you know, the key here is really recognizing that you have enough space to do what you want to do. And so what happens on that big hill when it gets crowded is some people just back off and they don't realize they have enough space as they do. I mean, Trent Jones, couple of replays back, I mean, he got out okay, but he got out good enough and he just kept charging. Ramirez is a great example of that as well, as he always finds space to tuck his way in. And then you go on the other end of the spectrum, there's Ramirez there and Schaub making their way through. Nyhog's one of the bigger guys, and he too, even if there's some trouble, he can always kind of find his way out of that trouble and make space. Here we see Mariano Pajón managing to win yet another lap with Christensen and Hernandez. Asuero, I would say that's probably the story of the day, as she's riding quite well, having turned it up a notch since yesterday, and Danny George as well, looking quite sprightly on the track.
Yeah, so the level, each year it seemed to be the level was advancing for elite women. Now it seems each race that level just steps up another notch. And I asked some of those riders, how hard is it to push the envelope, to keep continually going faster, being better, being more secure, more, feeling safe about yourself, riding the track at these speeds. And that skill level just keeps increasing, Jason. And some of them just, that's what they want to do. They want to push the envelope, at the same time show other women, young girls in some cases, that they can come out here, race just as fast, jump just as big as some of the boys and the men on the BMX circuit.
Well, the bottom line is everyone's training, everyone's working hard, and everyone is working to either make their Olympic team or become world champion or become Supercross champion. So the level is just is increasing naturally. And then what happens is you have the younger kids watching these riders, and so the expectations are lifted for everyone else. So in order to get to that level, if I'm a little kid watching Connor Fields, if I'm a little kid watching Mariano Pajón, I'm watching and I want to ride at that level, I see a benchmark. I see the current ceiling. And so in order for me to do better, then it's up to me to blast through that ceiling. And so the level just naturally keeps increasing. And like you said, it's happening not only on a yearly basis, but it's really happening on a race-to-race basis, which is really amazing.
And then on the men's side of things, that level's the same thing. It still increases. It's not as big of increments. But I think, to me, one of the things that we see a lot, Jason, you can describe this a little, definitely in full, is you have these riders that have the potential, and they just can't break through. They have the speed, they have the skill, but for some reason they just hung around 4th or 5th in these laps. When they get into these semis and quarterfinals, in their earlier rounds, they're out there winning. They go into these quarterfinals, semifinals, just doesn't seem things to go right. And I don't think it's necessarily the physical side. I think it's more of the mental side. So how can riders get that breakthrough to be mentally prepared when after they've spent all this time being physically prepared? How many of them you don't think spend enough time being mentally prepared for the days of racing?
That's a great question. I was actually walking around with the pits, and I was talking to some of the coaches that I raced back in the day in the 90s and early 2000s, and I think it's a bit of a generational gap by which, you know, I think because the training has become so scientific, because the riders race less now, for some reason, some of the riders, not all of them, have a mindset of, oh, well, by next year I will be at this level, or in 2 years I will be at this level based on some training data, this, that, or the other. Where I think at the end of the day is, hey, in 2 years you might be at this level at the gym, you might be this speed on your 90-foot sprint. However, you have a semifinal right now. You have a quarterfinal right now. What can you do right now to get yourself to the next round? And I think that's the difference in mindset, is not waiting for it to happen. It's letting it happen and allowing your drive and changing your expectations of yourself.
And then when you say that mental block, you have to see how technical these tracks are. And we'll give you another point of view of what it's like from the rider's perspective riding one of these incredible supercross tracks, Jason. And as you said, you know, to get to that level, it takes a lot. But as you can see it from the rider's perspective, it changes things quite drastically from a casual view from the sidelines.
From the casual view of the sidelines, that's right. And as you can see, that roller's not that little as they head into this first corner. You can see the women have to actually cut back to make it on their straightaways. Ezekiel Torres takes us over the first double, second double, roller, then another kicky double into the second corner. As they take this roller, they're going to jump on top of this, jump over this double, hit this double as well, roll through this double, and then take that triple into the last corner. As they come out of last corner, legs are burning here. Simple jumps, easy to make a mistake. Tabletop, step up, and double. Nick Keeman manuals it in. That's how we get around that track. That's probably at about 60%, if that.
Well, that's what I was going to say. That looked pretty calm and cool, but those guys were just actually out there to get that point of view. When you have 6 other riders around you and you're all bar to bar, how difficult it is. You can see past World Cup champions and the wins that they've had over the years. These 4 riders here, some of the most consistent on the World Cup Tour.
That's right, that's right. The Machine, number 81 with 8 wins. Liam Phillips with 6. And, you know, he hasn't raced too much this year and last year. And as we know, Sam Willoughby hasn't raced at all since the Olympics last year. So, and they're still managing to maintain a pretty sizable lead. Connor Fields, though, he seems like he could overtake the record. And that might begin here. At least he can catch up to Liam and Sam. We'll see what happens if he gets to the main event. But definitely impressive to have that many wins on the Supercross. And there's not that many opportunities during a race year to race a Supercross with only 6 rounds.
Yeah, Connor Fields added a win this year. Mara Strongbow is always a threat anytime he's on the track to get a win. He's been away a little bit, taking some time, reflecting, getting ready to see what's next for Maris. But as you said, Connor Fields, Liam Phillips is fighting back from injury. He was really hoping to be here. Unfortunately, that didn't work out. So Connor Fields could be one to be at least tie with these 3 guys. 3 of the greatest riders. There would be 3 of the greatest riders in the World Cup history. Mara Strongbow setting the standard for what it's like to be a true champion in the sport. He's also been racing the longest, but still, he could come out here today if he wanted to.
Well, just between this group, you have 3 Olympic medalists. Every one of them is a world champion, more than once, I believe. Yeah, so the big question is, Maris, what are you going to do next? That's the big question. Liam Phillips, I saw on Instagram, he was looks like he showed some parts, looked like he was building another bike, so that only can mean one thing. And Sam is having his fun online, doing his show, and then Connor Fields, I don't know if he's having fun, but he's definitely racing well here. For the women, World Cup wins, we see Caroline Buchanan with 6. Letitia Lecorguil still with 7. She hasn't been racing for a while, but she's still up there high in the ranks as far as overall wins. Smolders with 8. And Pahone with 9. Looks like Smolders and Pahone having a nice battle to see who can get the most wins. We'll see if Smolders can finish the day out and tie Mariana, or Mariana can pull ahead. But that's not to say that the other women don't want to start scratching the surface and getting on that list with 1 or 2 today.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Mariana can take it to double digits. Laura Smolders tying her, giving you that, you know, incredible race run she's had these last 2 seasons. Last year's overall champion on the World Cup Tour. She's trying to do it again and repeat it. It'll be interesting to see. We have one race before we'll know who will be in today's main event for those elite women coming up in just a few minutes for their semifinal. But yes, some of the greatest women in BMX definitely on the World Cup Tour right in front of us here. Caroline Buchanan will be back soon, racing again. Spent a lot of time racing mountain biking, focusing on the World Championships this year as well. She had a good run there, so it'll be interesting to see today who will walk away with 9 or 10 wins overall on the World Cup Tour in the elite women's category.
Only time will tell, my friend.
So the track here, Jason, in Santiago, explain it. You know, we've been to some of these tracks where they're giant. This one's a little bit more of a traditional track, but still, as you said, riders have voted it as one of the best supercross tracks on the tour, 2 years. And it's just a fun track and a lot of good racing. A lot of it coming down to right what's in front of us here. Turn number 2, that entry. You see a lot of marks on the inside. Everybody wants to hit that white line. And it's a lot of good racing here in Argentina.
Yeah, what I like about this track is that no one's concerned about the track. Nobody's worried about this section or that jump. So that means that everyone is free to race each other as hard as possible, and it makes for really good, tight, and fair racing. It does seem that the riders on the inside lanes have advantages, but as we've seen in the earlier qualifying rounds, I mean, Van Gorkum had a great start from the outside in the 8th or quarterfinals, or in the 8th finals, and of course Molina's been coming out of 2 quite well. We've seen some riders come from probably about as far as outside as 5 and do well. So about the only real advantage is having the inside lanes on this track, but otherwise everyone is free to race this track as hard as possible. And with the jumps in the second straight not being as long as they could be, that's probably the most technical aspect of it for the men, is because they're actually hitting. They probably could jump further if they wanted to. So they have to check up a bit to make sure they get backside. Here we are, semifinals, heat number 1. Pajón, Smulders, Christensen, Diaz, Asuero, Hernandez, Suvarova, Stavo.
So we're going to get right to it, Jason. Who is going to make it through? We have those 3 title contenders all right there with 1, 2, and 3 in the gate picks. So it's going to be interesting to see Pajón with the first, Smulders second, Christian third. They'll probably line up 1, 2, and 3 in the gate. Only time will tell. But Jason, now they're on the gate. They're looking for the title. They're in the semifinal. How do they mentally prepare themselves? I know they should be prepared already, but when you're on the hill behind the gate, what's going through your mind to have a successful lap?
I think what's going through your mind is to just do what you've been doing. And that's the hardest thing. So a lot of riders make the mistake of thinking it's the semi, it's time to turn it up one more notch or do this or do that. But the bottom line is you somehow, some way, you got to this point. So the whole point is to keep doing the same thing, which is really managing yourself, that emotional control, taking those deep breaths, visualizing, and just trusting that you actually know what to do when the first horn goes off and when the light goes off. Because really, if you can get yourself to a position to where you don't have to think, then you're in automatic, then you're in flow, and then you can go.
And if you're in this position where I'm like, all I have to do is make my way into the main event, maybe I can ride a little bit different, a little bit timid. That doesn't seem to work a lot of time for a lot of people, Jason, does it? But at the same point, I've got to give a full effort, which this is basically for those top 3, a precursor to the main. Let's just say they all make their way through, but they're racing against each other. These are the standout women of the season, of yesterday. Right now, those were the podium women. So they're all in this semi. So how, as you said, do it as you do it. It's going to be basically watching a precursor to the main event and see how things come out.
Yeah. And I got to tell you, it's probably with the title contenders in the same lap, it's probably the odds are that one of them may not make it. There you go, lane 8, number 93, my favorite number. Priscilla Stavo. Next to her, Suvarova from Russia. Lane 6, Stephanie Hernandez, probably your Olympic bronze medalist. And from Ecuador, Asuero, gate 5, riding quite well, throwing the heart up to everyone. The younger Diaz sister for Argentina. Next to her, Simone Christensen, coming out of lane 3. Laura Smulders will be coming out of lane 2 from the Netherlands. Had a hard crash yesterday in the first round. Mariana Pajón, always smiling. Golden Girl, she'll be coming out of lane 1 from Colombia.
So here we go with semifinal number 1 for today's UCI BMX World Cup Finals. Those top 3 gate positions, those are the ladies up for this overall title. Let's see how things work out. Top 4 will move into today's main event. Let's get ready for semifinal number 1 here in Santiago del Estero, Argentina.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Looks like everyone has a pretty clean start. Asuero in the middle getting pinched a bit. Pajón going straight to the front, leaving room for Smulders to dive right into second place as we see one of the Diaz sisters making a move on the inside. Not sure if that's enough. She's going to manage to hold on to 4th place down the second straight. We know that's the place you don't want to be as Christensen moves back to 4th and Diaz moves up to 3rd as Pajón is running away with it, followed by Smulders. So it's going to be Pajón, Smulders, Diaz still fighting for 2nd now. Christensen holding on to 4th, and those will be your qualifiers.
Yeah, so our title contenders all make their way through. Stephanie Hernandez, unfortunately, will not advance. But as you said, coming down the straightaway, Jason, they all seem to give each other enough room to have a clean race. Mariana Pajón pulls out ever so slightly, then cuts over, gets the optimal way for that turn to cut over to get down that inside straightaway, but she held the line all the way around the track out in the lead.
Yeah, and the smartest racer award has to go to Diaz as she came out of she was last essentially down the first straight, found her way into 3rd place. So that's an amazing race by Diaz. The official Pajón, Smulders, Diaz, and Christensen. Unfortunately, Hernandez, Suvarosa, Asuero, and Stavo will have to wait till next year. Semifinal Heat 2, the Danimal Danny George. She has first lane choice. Bondarenko, Diaz, Afremova, Bao, Huisman, Bollet, and Peterson.
It's definitely going to be a good semifinal to see some of this new skills and great riders coming out, including right here, Peterson. She's definitely looking great out of Latvia. So out of Colombia, Bollet, Colera, gate number 7, definitely one of the riders bringing a lot of attention this weekend. Huisman from the Netherlands has always been on top. She's looking to make her way into the main event today. Let's see if that can happen. Next to her, it will be from the Netherlands, Judy Baugh. She's been in the main event earlier this year. She would love to be back in it later on today. And then we'll get to the Russian contingent, Afremova, one of the youngest ladies from Russia to be currently on the tour, but definitely making a name for herself. And right next to her, one of the ladies on the tour the longest, Gabrielle Diaz from right here in Argentina. Her sister just made the main. Super competitive. She'd love to be in there as well. And then next to her in gate number 2 from Russia, that would be Bondarenko. Been successful right off just the podium yesterday, looking to make her way through. Right now, Danny George from the United States of America, been riding strong all day long. Can she put that number 33 back into the main event? We will see ever so shortly as we get ready here for semifinal number 2 from Argentina for the UCI BMX World Cup Finals.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Looks like Danny George is off to another great start. She shuts down Bondarenko quite quickly, so it's going to be George and Bao, 1 and 2, going in and out of the first corner, followed by Afremova. Bondarenko is off the back. Gabriela Diaz managing to find her way into 4th place right now, but right now it's all Danny George on the pole position, heading down the 3rd straight with Bao, Afremova, and Diaz. Looks like they may be your top 4 as they have pulled away from the rest of the crowd. Peterson way back in 5th, probably not going to happen, but right now it is Danny George getting passed by Bao and possibly Afremova, but it's going to be Bao, George, Afremova, and Diaz. Those will be your qualifiers heading into the main event.
I told you how competitive those sisters were, Jason. They're now both in that main event. But right here, Danny George had an incredible gate. Gets over. Bondarenko has a little bit of a case, but that wasn't her only problems as she went down in that 2nd straightaway. Danny George looking strong and commanding into turn number 2. Judy Baugh definitely looking good behind her as well. And as we said, Gabrielle Diaz and Afromova take the third and fourth in this semifinal, both qualifying into today's main event. But Judy Baugh did not want to shut it down all the way to the line, taking that win with Danny George in second.
Yeah, Danny George had a great start. Not sure that she would have wanted to finish that semi that way with lane choice being so important. However, getting in the main is important nonetheless. So it's Bao, George, Afromova, and Diaz making the final. I don't know if we could count how many finals she's made over the course of her whole career. Next time we see the elite women, guess what? It will be for the final with all the players. Smulders only needs to get a sixth or better. I say only, but I use that word sparingly because as we see, all of these women want to be on the podium.
Yeah, the main event with Pahon, Smulders, Diaz, Christensen, Baugh, George, Afromova, and Diaz. It's going to be definitely difficult for her to do, but she's been super consistent as we saw in her results, and she would love nothing better to do to walk off the season with another victory. But Mariana Pahon definitely wants to stand in her way, as well as 6 other ladies on the track. So the elite men are making their way up for their semifinals, and again, we'll see some great racing, a little bit faster, a little bit quicker, different side of the track, Jason. Definitely more aggressive down that hill as well.
Yeah, and they take up more space, generally speaking. So I think the average elite man rider is probably about 6 foot. I don't know how many meters that is. 80 or so kilos. So definitely an athlete heading down that hill with some good size.
In yesterday's semi, we had both of the Argentinians in the same one. They had a really fast pace around the track, and that was why they got those first 2 gate picks. In that second semi, it was Sylvan Andre and Connor Fields. Those guys were in it. They were 3rd and 4th picks overall. Right now, those riders are all split up in today's semifinals. So it'll be interesting to see the pace of each of these semifinals. As we said, the position and time you get in the semifinals sets your gate pick. So these riders know how important it is to have a really clean lap here if they want to have a chance at having an inside gate, giving them a little bit of an advantage over the other riders if they make their way into today's main event.
That's right, the all-important lane choice. And I gotta tell you, after you get past lanes 1, 2, or 3, it's not always the easiest choice. It does become strategic and tactical when you're picking that lane. So that's something that's relatively new to the sport from my tenure, is picking those lanes. I remember doing it and it being such a new experience for me, and it definitely was adding an extra element of gaming into the whole thing and strategy, but definitely still a factor for the riders here, as once the good lanes are essentially taken, then it's a matter of, okay, who's getting out well, how well am I getting out, all that other stuff. But as we know, the more you can focus on yourself and what you can control, the better your outcome will be.
And that's not to say you can't win from lane 8, because we've seen Mara Strombergs do it multiple times.
Nick
Kidman did it. So it'll be interesting to see. We're not into that position yet, but will those 3 fastest riders, when we get into those main events, sometimes you do see those riders pick on the outside.
We saw in Zolder that Tori Nyhog was picking lane 8 on purpose.
Yeah.
He was qualifying well and picking lane 8 just to stay out of the mess that was happening on the inside. So we're going to introduce these 8 riders.
Definitely an interesting crew here in the first of the semifinals. Sylvan Andre, as we've noted over and over, he's going for his first World Cup overall title. Kyle Evans definitely wants to be in that main event. Twan Von Gent, yesterday's crash, he wants to forget about that, as well as Tori Nyhog. He wants to make his way in, and Trey White as well, but nobody else has, other than Rios from Colombia, starting in gate 8. He would love to be in today's main event, Jason.
Yes, the Colombian rider's riding this track quite well. So Rios next to Ramiro Marino. He's been in the game for a long time, so it's good to see him in the semi. I know he'd like to make the main in his home country with his father watching. Next to him, Trey White. Trey White stayed at my house this summer a bit, so it was nice to hang out with him and his brother Kai White. I'd like to send a shout out to his mother Tracy and Nigel, and CK Flash, of course. Tori Nyhog from Canada, known to be in several mains, kind of an anomaly that he wasn't yesterday, so he wants to make up for yesterday. Ezekiel Torres, not coming out of lane 1 or 2. His work may be cut out for him, but he's known to be good around the track. Twan Van Gent, now he's known for his great starts, hole shotting in Belgium and winning that one. Next to him, Kyle Evans. Kyle Evans had a great quarterfinal. He finds himself in lane 2, which is good for him. And Sylvain Andre has to get 4th or better in the main event to hold on to his points lead. So his work's cut out for him right now.
Yeah, definitely a fully stacked race. And as you said, we have some dangerous riders in the middle of this gate. Torres and Nyhawk, definitely good starters. So let's see how things pan out as we get to the first of the Elite Men's quarterfinals here in Argentina for the UCI BMX World Cup Finals.
Ready, watch the gate.
Out of the gate they go. Looks like Andre with a great start. Evans shut down, but Twan Van Gent straight to the front from the middle. Looks like Trey White is trying to find his way into 3rd with his teammate Evans behind him. So it's not over yet, but right now Nyhawk is going to press Evans for that 4th place position, and it looks like he may do so. So right now, Van Gent, Andre, Trey casing in that 3rd straightaway. Looks like Evans is getting cut off by Trey White, his teammate. Unfortunate for him, but right now it is Van Gent, Andre, Trey White, and Tori Nyhawk. White and Nyhawk with the photo finish. Great finish for Trey White. This will be his first main. That was really crazy. Look at that start that Twan Van Gent got, though. Right out of the middle, just straight to the front. Definitely making up for yesterday's spectacular dismount in the quarterfinal. But
you can see right here, Torres stuck in the pack. He really wanted to make something happen. He just kept getting stuck on the outside and the outside, but no one was going to pass. Twan Van Gent or Sylvain Andre, what a race for those two, both making their way in. Van Gent taking that victory, Andre 2nd, Nyhawk, and as you said, Trey White making his first main, an impressive run here. Great to see him in there for the first time, just ahead of yesterday's winner, Ezequiel Torres. So those are the 4 riders making their way into today's main event.
yes, it's all about momentum, keeping that momentum going. We'll introduce you to these 8 riders up close and personal. Definitely a USA, Colombia, Argentina, Netherlands, New Zealand, Norway, USA, and France. Definitely a great cast of characters. As we go up to the hill, you see the Chappelle show. Théo Chappelle from France will be coming out of lane 8. Next to him is the world champion, Corbin Chara. His work is definitely cut out for him. He is capable of doing it, though, from the outside, that's for sure. Navrestad showing up well today from Norway. Trent Jones having another great day. Got in the main yesterday and showed up even stronger today from New Zealand. Nick Kimmin finding his way in the semi despite not looking as strong as he normally has. He'll be coming from lane 4. And Gonzalo Molina, horsepower hour, coming out of lane 3 from Argentina. You can hear the crowd cheering for him, that's for sure. It's all up to him because Torres did not make it. And the Magician coming out of lane 2, Ramirez. Watch for him to be making a lot of moves, most any and everywhere. And then Connor Fields, Olympic gold. Definitely the steely-eyed look. He wants to get in the main and win the main.
So let's get ready for semi-final number 2. Fields, if he needs to get into today's main event to have a shot at that overall title. You've seen Andre got 2nd. This is going to be important for gate positioning. But first, let's see who will be the top 4 making their way into the UCI BMX World Cup Finals here in Argentina.
Ready, watch the gate.
Out of the gate they come. Looks like Ramirez is shut down. But Fields with an amazing start. Chara on the outside. Ramirez still finding his way in 2nd place. Chara is in trouble way out on the outside. He looks to be in 5th. Navrestad in the 4th place position. Not a place you want to be with Chara behind you, but it could work out for him. Molina looking strong in 3rd place. Chara has his work cut out for him as Navrestad seems to be pulling away. It's going to come down to the last straightaway, but right now it's all Connor Fields, followed by Ramirez, Molina, and Navrestad on the Speedco, getting in there, edging out the world champion.
Yeah, Sherrod, Jones, Chappelle, and Kimmin don't make their way through, but Connor Fields had another impressive, consistent for him. Great first straightaway, Jason.
Yeah, I mean, Corbin had a good first straightaway, but he just couldn't get over enough and got dove on. Ramirez found the space. So really, if you can be a little bit patient. I know that sounds weird in a sprint race, but it seems like Ramirez was just patient enough on the first straightaway to tuck in because Connor essentially made room for him in the first corner because Connor's gate was so good. Definitely disappointing for Corbin Sherrod not getting in there. Fifth in the semi is not something we'd want to see from the world champion. However, Fields, the Magician, Ramirez, Molina, and Navrestad, those will be the final four to make the elite men's main. The next time we see them, it will be the final and the title chase. So, Fields, Andre, Van Gent, all part of that top five. And remember, Sylvain Andre needs to get a fourth or better to maintain his points lead, so it's going to be good heading into the finals. Just joining in, this is a little recap of the semis as we're watching Mariana Pajón with a commanding lead in her semi over Smulders, Diaz, and Christensen. Unfortunately, Stephanie Hernandez, your Olympic bronze, just missing out on a main event spot with a 5th place in the semi. Semi number 2 of Elite Women saw Danny George hole-shotting. Great start down the first straight, coming out of the first turn in first. Judy Bao chasing her down with Aframova and Gabriela Diaz in 4th. And we saw Judy Bao actually overtaking Danny George down the last straight. Aframova and Gabriela Diaz making it through. Unfortunately, the Latvian and the Colombian will have to wait till next year. Semi number 1 in Elite Men's. Strong cast of characters. Saw Team GB, Evans, and Trey White battling in 3rd and 4th. But Twan Van Gent took it straight from start to finish with Andre, the points leader, in 2nd right behind him. Trey White managing to hold off Nijhag, or qualify with Nijhag, excuse me. Argentina's hope is up to Gonzalo Molina as Torres did not make the main from semi 1, but Connor Fields had all the power down the first straight, leaving room for Ramirez to pop in there and turn 1 into 2nd place. With Navrestad edging out the world champion for the final qualifying position. So Sherrod and Jones will be watching the main event today. Thanks for joining in. We definitely appreciate you watching the 2017 UCI BMX World Cup here in Santiago del Estero. Stop 3, round number 6, the final round of the season, where we will crown 2 champions, 1 man, 1 woman, for the overall World Cup title. As you can see, there's not a cloud in the sky. It's a beautiful day. The wind is just blowing a bit. Affected some riders earlier. It hasn't during the quarters and semis, which is a good thing. So conditions have been more than favorable all day. The city of Santiago del Estero has been great to the BMX world, and we appreciate that, hosting this fine event since 2013. Voted 2 times the best BMX Supercross by the riders. That says a lot. Racing will continue at 4:40.
So we're here. It's time for these main events at the UCI World Cup Finals. What a great day of racing we've seen. All of the title contenders have made their way through the main event. You see right now Sylvain Andre cooling down as well as staying warmed up for those main events because they're just a few moments away. But we've got a great collection of riders in today's main event. On the elite men's side of things, yesterday's winner did not make his way through. So it's going to be a good battle when we come for that title chase. Sylvain Andre holds that lead over Connor Fields. Connor Fields had the fastest time in the semifinal, so he'll get first gate pick. And we move on to the women's side. You saw that first semifinal. We had all three title contenders in there, so you'll see the gate picks between the three of them again. Will they go side by side? Or is that a precursor to today's main event in elite women? It'll be interesting to see. But Mariana Pajon will have to do a win. Laura Smulders will have to be sixth or worse. These are some of the cleanest riders out here, so we're just probably going to see elbow-to-elbow bar racing, but anything could happen. You see Ramirez dive in turn number one. A lot of things changed up after that in that second semifinal. But again, the racing's been incredible all year long here on the World Cup Tour, and it's not going to end until today's two main events. Two main events left, elite women, elite men, two titles to come from it. It's going to be interesting racing from here in Santiago del Estero. Some of the standouts, we have Trey White just riding behind us. He made it into his first main event today. Definitely great to see him doing that. And then we have this young girl from Russia, Afromova, making her way in, as well as a slew of other powerhouses. We see a few riders go down, but for more or less, it's going to be some great battles racing. Tori Nyhog, one of the title contenders, he's made his way back into today's main event as well. So you will see those riders going for the overall title. And don't forget, top two, top three in this overall series is definitely a great result for the year end because we can only have one winner. But right now, it's going to be Sylvain Andre, who has that lead coming into the last race, 60 points. It's going to have to be quite a difference for him, and as well as in the elite women, Laura Smulders making her way in to that main event today too. Definitely some great racing. And then you have some riders here dejected who did not make their way into the mains. They're making their way out there to get firsthand what to see. But what we can do is just give you what's going on. These riders are really focused on getting ready for today's main event, and we'll have that ever so shortly. As we said, a great season here for 2017.
So we can see the lineup. We are about to get it on here. I never say that. It's about to go down. That's something I would say. It's about to go down here at the 2017 UCI BMX Supercross. Up close and personal. There are the points. 660 points for Laura Smolders, 585 for Mariana Pajón. Looks like Simone Christensen can catch Pajón. But for Pajón to pass Laura Smolders, Laura will have to finish in either 7th or 8th place, which will be very difficult to do. But as we say, we never know. This is it, the whole season coming down to 2 more laps. 1 lap each for the men and the women. See the officials making their way back onto the track. Medical staff, media, commissars, and the like. That can only mean one thing. I'm peeking out of my booth and I can see the riders heading up the hill. Looks like the cameraman is keeping you in suspense. That's kind of fun. Everyone getting into place. You see those Tioga banners, wind blowing ever so gently. That's your start list for the final. We're going to introduce you to the players, to the elite women, the final of the finals. In just a short moment, lane by lane, face by face. Star-studded lineup here. The UCI BMX Supercross World Cup, Santiago del Estero, in the country of Argentina. Argentina has always been great to BMX. They've had a World Cup here since 2013. I remember racing a World Championships in Argentina in the year 2000. Can't say I have anything to complain about when I come down to Argentina for BMX. As you can see, this great facility, soccer fields, track and field, and of course the BMX track where all the action is going down today. Heading up to lane 8, Gabriela Diaz. Been on the scene forever, doing it for country and pride. The like, Simone Christensen finding herself in lane 7. Not a normal place for her to be so far outside, but that's okay. Next to her will be Afromova from Russia, lane 6. Silent, but steadily riding well today. Danny George been riding a bit loud today. Hole-shotting her races. The American, let's see if she can find herself on the podium today. Next to her is Judy Bao. She had a great semifinal, passing Danny George for the win. She'll be coming out of lane 4. Another Argentinian, the younger of the 2 Diaz sisters. She'll be out of lane 3. Waving to the crowd. From the Netherlands, lane 2, Laura Smolders, points leader. Remember, she has to get a 6th or better to maintain that points lead. Makes you wonder if Mariana Pajón, what her strategy might be out of lane 1, being next to the points leader. Nonetheless, it's going to be a good race. I'm excited to call the action. Women's Elite Final, round 6. This one is for all the marbles. as we're official.
Okay, riders, random start.
Here we go.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
Out of the gate they go. Looks like the younger the Diaz sisters, not great out of the gate, but Pajón straight to the front as Bao is contesting Smolders just on the outside. Looks like Diaz makes a move into fourth, possibly third, but right now it's Pajón running away with it, followed by Smolders. Looks like Diaz manages to find the third place position with Afromova in fourth and Bao in fifth, but right now it is all Pajón. Smolders looks like she's catching up, and Diaz on a tear as well, as Smolders is going to contest Pajón, but it's going to be Pajón, Smolders, Diaz, Afromova, and Bao. Diaz, Gabriella, and Christensen have the photo finish. What a great race by Pajón and Smolders. Diaz not off to the best start, but she finds some room in that first corner and just makes the dive, coming out in fourth and then really racing for that third place against Bao down the second straight, which she manages to keep. Smolders finds some speed after this second corner. She finds some speed and actually catches up to Pajón down the third straight through this last corner and the last straight. But Pajón just has a little bit more than Smolders can give as Pajón wins the final Supercross event of the year. That's going to give Smolders the title. The official Pajón, Smolders, Diaz, Afromova, Bao, Gabriella Diaz, Simone Christensen, and Danny George from the USA rounding out the final 8 for elite women. Round number 6, BMX Supercross World Cup. And that clapping that you hear is for Diaz. It's such a proud third place finish. You look at Mariana Pajón congratulating Diaz, waving to the crowd as well. Always a gracious winner. They ride off together. Smolders joining them in. We see the Colombian flag for Mariana.
We're here with today's winner and yesterday's winner, Mariana Pajón. Mariana, back-to-back wins, another way to cap off a great season on the World Cup Tour. Talk about today's main event.
I'm really happy. I was really tired when I woke up today, and I thought like it's gonna be a hard day, but I really wanted to do it good, to do it well, and it's just like my hometown, so it was just from my heart, wasn't from my legs.
You did everything you could to try to get that overall title. You're going to fall just short because Laura Smolders was right there in second. But how proud are you to end your season with 2 back-to-back wins?
No, I'm really happy. I'm really proud of this season, how I end up, how I progress from the beginning, and I'm really happy.
And congratulations, you are the first man or woman on the World Cup Tour to have 10 World Cup wins. It's a new record, so congratulations, and let everybody know how excited you are for this win to end your season on the World Cup Tour.
I'm really proud. I'm really happy. Everything needs payoff. When you work hard, when you really believe in yourself, it just everything comes to you. So I'm really happy.
Congratulations on today's victory.
Thank you, Pete.
There you have it. Words from one of the best, if not the best in the world, Mariana Pajón, riding from the heart, not from the legs. She said it's like home here, and it showed. She felt very at home on this track as she won this main event, start to finish, dominating this weekend, winning both days. finishing off the season strongly. Laura Smulders, though, will take the overall World Cup championship title as she came out with 3 wins overall in the season. What a great year for the elite women. Great battles. Smulders and Pahone all year round, trading wins. Drama of some crashes, battling back. Truly, truly testament to how strong these women are, how much work and effort they put into it. As we see Mariana Diaz accepting her 3rd place prize, getting congratulations from 2nd place, Laura Smulders. As they bring up the winner, Miss Mariana Pahone. Yet another win. World Cup, there's your flower presentation. Pahone, Smulders, and Diaz, 1, 2, and 3 today for round 6, the UCI BMX Supercross World Cup. Still catching their breath as they accept their awards. To make their way back with the press and do their professional duties that they have to do. That's how it works when you're on an international stage, traveling the world as a professional athlete. The work isn't done after you've won the race. You still get to, go talk to the crowd, talk to the press. Head of the Argentinian BMX Federation congratulating Miss Mariana Pahone. Always nice to see winners celebrating, congratulating each other, competitors. Everyone wanting a picture of that as well. There's your start list. Last final of the season for the UCI BMX Supercross World Cup. It will be the elite men. And these are the elitist of the elite today. We're going to give you an up-close and personal look at the players for the final in a short moment. See the silhouettes on the hill as they get ready. There's your Canadian national champion, Tori Nyhog. He'll be coming out of lane 8. Doesn't matter what lane he's in. He's okay with any of them. Trey White, number 696, Team GB. Peckham, one way up. He found his way up to that main event, that's for sure. Daverstad from Norway, looking strong and consistent all day. He's earned his spot in this main event. Next to him is Sylvan Andre, your points leader. Lane 5, remember, 4th or better will keep his title alive. After that, we're going to have to pull out some calculators because next to him is Twan Van Gent. He hole-shotted that semi from the outside. He'll be coming out of lane 4, so he's comfortable there. Next to him is Molina. We know what he did yesterday. 2nd place yesterday, hole shot in the main yesterday. Here he is in the main again. And the Magician, lane 2, always makes it happen. He's your Olympic bronze medalist. And Connor Fields, the American, Olympic gold. He's looking to get one more win under his belt, close this season out right. So it really could be anyone's race, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, excuse me, as we go live, and it's official.
ready, watch the gate.
Everyone's out of the gate. Looks like Ramirez get pinched, but watch him. Molina off to a decent start, but Connor Fields is going to stick his nose in there anyway, as Ramirez is going to make the dive on Molina. It's going to be Fields, Ramirez, Molina. Looks like Andre's jumping his way into third place, but we'll see. He finds his way. Ramirez is going to contest Fields. That doesn't happen very often as Andre pulls up and Molina's trying to find a way. Ramirez is still hunting Fields down, but Fields is holding him off right now as they head down the last straight. It's going to be Fields, Ramirez, Andre, possibly Nijhog, Van Gent. I'm not sure. It was pretty close, but definitely a great race from Fields and Fields, Ramirez, and Andre. Andre, again, needing that fourth or better. Look at Ramirez just diving into that first corner, coming out in second with a lot of track speed, able to catch Connor Fields, who, by the way, has known to be fast around the track with his time trial world championships from the past. But Ramirez just finding all that speed. Connor Fields finding more down that third straight as Andre has a lot of heat on him with Molina, Nijhog, and Van Gent chasing him down. Andre turning up the afterburners, even pushing on Ramirez to the finish line. What a great event. Great race from the elite men. Connor Fields finds himself tied now with 6 wins. Tied with Sam Willoughby and Liam Phillips, I believe, with 6 World Cup wins. Your Olympic champion right there, waving to the crowd. Well earned, well fought win. Throws his gloves to the crowd. Always the consummate professional, classy champion he is. Thumbs up, that's the classic American tradition. See the press wanting to get the picture of the 2 champions, the Olympic champion and the World Cup champion, Sylvain Andre. That third place is going to secure his World Cup title. 2 times on the podium. Looks like Andre's getting some love from his coach. Mission accomplished. Consistency definitely rules out in this sport of BMX and professional athletics. There's something to be said for being consistent. Andre trying to catch his breath. Another thumbs up from him as he makes his way back with the press. And they will probably get their flowers and their awards. Again, the work is not done when the finish line is crossed. You see the medic crew cleaning up. Good news is the medic crew did not have too much to do this weekend on this beautiful BMX track in Santiago del Estero. There's your official Fields, Ramirez, Andre, Molina, Nijhog, Van Gent, Naverstad, and Trey White rounding out your top 8 today.
We're here with Connor Fields, who just said he's supposed to be in shape, but I think he definitely is, as he just took the World Cup Finals main event Elite Men's win, making that your 6th win overall in the Elite Men's class. Connor, how are you feeling after that great lap here in Argentina?
It feels great. I'm tired, man. I gave it everything I had today. The Argentinian guys were riding so well, and Sylvain was having such a great year, and just the level of competition was really high, so took everything I had to get out there and get the win.
So you went out, you got the win, you couldn't control what was behind you. Sylvain was in the back of the pack, came back up for a 3rd place finish, so that means you'll end up the year number 2, but to finish the last race with a win, how gratifying is that feeling?
That's great. You know, I could just circle back to day 2 in Zolder, which is really my only bad day of the series, and you know, that day cost me, so just learn from it moving forward, and yeah, happy with 2nd overall, and I did my best, and end of the season with a win's a great feeling.
Congratulations on another win, and I know this is a special race for you. You love it here, as well as your birthday was this week, so this is the sweetest present you could get.
Oh yeah, it's great. Thanks to everybody back home, Mom, Dad, all my sponsors, Chase BMX, and we'll see you guys at the after party.
Thanks, Connor.
See ya.
Yes, you could see it in his eyes. Eyes on the prize, Connor Fields. His eyes on the after party now, but right here, coming down the first straight, Molina not the best start, but Connor Fields just powers his way through. Ramirez finds his way underneath Molina in the first corner, but it's all Connor Fields. There was a brief moment where Ramirez thought he might have had a first place, but Connor Fields, between positioning and skill, outmaneuvers him down the third straight to hold on to that lead as they head into the finish line. It is all Connor Fields, followed by Ramirez and Andre, the top three. What a great race and a great way to end the season. All the buddies hanging out, congratulating each other, fierce competitors, which allows for a great deal of respect amongst each other as they travel the world together, racing, all for the same thing with each other. See the surface on that track as we were discussing earlier. There we go. Sylvain Andre, sigh of relief, third place. It's over. He can rest easy tonight knowing he put it all out there. 2 podium finishes for the weekend. Second place, Carlos Ramirez, the magician, making it happen. And the winner, Connor Fields. Not his first time on the podium, that's for sure. There you have it, the official Fields, Ramirez, and Andre accepting their flowers from the ladies. Might be practice for later on this evening at the after party. Or might be giving some flowers out, I'm not sure. All still catching their breath. Winners are grinners. All smiles as they go off with the UCI officials.
I'll take your helmet.
Sorry. Do certain things. They all have their work to do. Go back up to the gate. You can see it in his eyes. Definitely focused. Steady Eddie. Great gate start and just keeps pushing it down that first straight. Andre with a good start from the outside. It was a lot of work for him to get over. But still had to come out of the first turn in 5th. Managed to work his way up to 3rd. Definitely hunting it down. Andre almost on the white line, jumping into that second corner with Nijhag looking for a move against Molina, but Von Gent was there to ruin that in the last corner. Meanwhile, up front, Connor Fields just handling business as he takes it in for another Supercross World Cup win. So BMX is an individual sport, however, it does take a team to help you get where you want to go. As you see Andre getting a hug from his coach. All the people along the way that help you and support you definitely helps make a difference. Here's the World Cup standings. Laura Smulders on top as the champ, followed by Mariana Pajón and Christensen. First, second, and third. Bondarenko just missing out on the podium with a 4th. Judy Bao finds her way in 5th. Stephanie Hernandez 6th. Natalia Suvarova in 7th. And Ruby Huisman in 8th. Stivo and Reynolds rounding out your top 10 for the World Cup standings. Great year for the women, especially Smulders. Elite Men World Cup standings. There you have it. Sylvain Andre beating out Connor Fields by 25 points. Only 25 points. Connor Fields, Nijhag, Vandenberg, Van Gent. Those will be your top 5. Ramirez moving up to 6. Corbin Schirra 7. Nick Kimmen rounding out the top 8. Gonzalo Molina moves up into the top 10. Kyle Evans finds himself exactly number 10. Kai Sakakibar just missing out on the top 10 in the overall standings. So 2 hotly contested titles, women and men, Smulders and Sylvain Andre on top for the UCI BMX Supercross World Cup in 2017. Podium presentation for today's Elite Women's Final. We'll introduce women's podium. Laura Smulders.
El señor Héctor Chapino entregará las flores a Mariana Díaz, a Laura Smulders y a Mariana Pajón, el presidente de la Federación Argentina de BMX.
Mariana Diaz with the 3rd place today in Elite Women. Laura Smulders, your 2nd place finisher for today. Today's winner, Mariana Pajón, she will stand at top of the podium.
El señor Carlos Dapedo, secretario de Deportes de Santiago del Estero, dará entrega del premio de esta carrera a Mariana Díaz de Argentina,
Getting their prizes from
a Laura Smulders de Holanda en la
BMX
segunda
Argentina,
ubicación.
City of
Y a la
Santiago del
primera, por
Estero.
segundo día consecutivo, Mariana Pajón de Colombia.
They get on the podium for the photo opportunity.
Fuerte el aplauso para las chicas.
Pajón, Smulders, and Diaz, Colombia, Netherlands, and Argentina, respectively.
Y Mariana Pajón para Colombia. Ahí están en lo más alto del podio las 3 corredoras. Para la foto.
Pete, thoughts on the Elite Women?
What a great race that was. Mariana Pajón knew the best she could do was go out and win, let the cards fall behind her. And today, Laura Smulders was able to come back, get that 2nd place, secure the overall championship. What a good race. And we have Mariana Diaz getting that 3rd place spot. Great here to give the crowd something extra loud to cheer about for the hometown.
Yeah, I think that's that's kind of the unsaid winner in all of this is Argentina itself. I mean, what a great weekend for BMX Argentina to have their very own do so well at an international event. The Diaz sisters representing, Torres representing, Molina representing quite well, getting in the main. So they've had some podium finishes this weekend, which is just awesome. And then to see Smulders and Pahone maintain composure throughout the whole weekend and really just put in good efforts by both of them, it was really a pleasure to see.
Yeah, no disrespect to any of the Argentinian riders, but the first year we came here, they weren't strong, they weren't favorites, and any glimmer of hope was just doing well in a moto. And here we are just 5 years later. They're in the main events. They're winning main events. They're on the podium at a World Cup. And it's all because they have this Supercross training facility here, and they've brought that level up in just a short time to become one of the powers, as we see this weekend in the world of BMX Supercross. We move over to the elite men's podium. What a great race that was. Sylvain Andre was in 7th place in the first turn.
Yeah, 7th place, managed to work his way up to 5th, and then found himself in 3rd. He needed that top 4 or better, and he managed to do it. So he finds himself in 3rd place for today, as Ramirez goes up there to take his 2nd place, and then Connor Fields joining the ranks, now tying with 6 wins. The Olympic champion has one more Supercross win under his belt.
Yeah, he was definitely excited at the line. You could just see it. He was super stoked. He knew it was going to be tough to get that title. But again, he did everything he could today. He had a great gate, but he had a good battle from Ramirez. It was interesting to see where Andre picked in that gate before the main event, but it all worked out for him. Connor Fields comes out today victorious. He loves this track, and this is his 3rd win here, or 2nd win here in Argentina.
Didn't know that, but it's not surprising nonetheless. So everyone getting their awards, smiling after a hard day's work.
The elite men's final podium of the season, the 2017 UCI BMX World Cup Tour. Connor Fields, Carlos Ramirez, and Sylvain Andre take the top honors here for today's event. Great racing from those guys and girls all day long, Jason.
So they're all going to get on the top and then take a special photo. See the photographer up there planning his attack. Good looking group of winners there. And I'm going to turn around and take their other photos. Again, the work is not done when you cross the finish line. That's when it begins. Doing what's right for the fans and the sponsors and the sport of BMX. Love to see that. All great ambassadors. Both men and women are great ambassadors that we've seen on the podium today.
As you said, a great group of riders, Olympic medalists, Olympic champions, both taking the victory here today in Argentina to wrap up that season. I believe we'll have those overall winners of the season, which would be Laura Smulders and Sylvain Andre, come back up on the podium to accept their awards. And we're just about wrapped up here for the World Cup Tour of 2017.
I know,
Jason.
it's over. That's I'm gonna miss it.
A quick season. We had those 2 stops within 10 days, 4 races back to back. Pretty crazy. Had that break. World Championships, other races going around, national championships all around the world. And today we end it all here in Argentina. A little bit of abbreviated schedule with just 3 stops, 6 World Cups. Next year we expand, Jason. 5 stops, 10 races. It's going to be interesting to see that World Cup Tour go around. We have some new destinations on the tour as well.
Yeah, I'm excited about Paris, that's for sure. Oh.
Shh, don't let the cat out of the bag just yet.
That's unofficial. That's unofficial. But there we see Connor with his coach, Sean Dwight.
So as the riders making their way to the plethora of media here, the fans are still excited to see what's going on. They want to get a glimpse of these riders. They've seen these gladiators, these BMX gladiators out on the track, but now they want to be able to get a word with them, a photo, whatever it may be.
Photos, autographs, number plates.
To get the last grasp of the UCI 2017 World Cup season, Jason.
That's right. That's right.
So your highlight of the year?
Highlight of the year? Wow. I don't know. You put me on the spot. Let's see. I think my highlight of the year was probably, I think the first event. I think Papendal. I really liked watching Sylvain Andre pass Vandenberg. Not that I have anything against Vandenberg, but I think it was really impressive to see Sylvain Andre pass Vandenberg on his home track at the end of the finish line, and then see all of Andre's crazy fans rush them at the finish line.
And my highlight's going to be right here, what we see, the consistency of these women and men for the overall season. Each one of these women pretty much on the podium just about every stop. We have all the wins between the two right there on the left and right and center. And definitely great to see Simone Christensen have a breakthrough season, getting her way third overall on that World Cup tour. Laura Smulders taking back-to-back victories. Mariana Pajón up here once again. Just a great season for elite women on the World Cup tour.
Yeah, Christensen solid all year. Smulders coming out strong in the beginning of the year and maintaining that composure, being consistent. Then Mariana battling back, saying, okay, well, you got your wins. I'm going to get my wins too. So it really came down to this race. And as it showed that even though Mariana may have won both days today, Smulders' consistency and early points lead really helped her maintain so that she could be on top of the podium right now. So congratulations to all three of them, especially Laura Smulders, your World Cup champion, which is truly an amazing feat in this day and age.
And what does it say about these riders? Each one of our overall champions this weekend especially had some adversity to overcome. Both had crashes. Laura Smulders was probably a little bit worse than Sylvain Andres, but still coming back and to persevere and to stand on that top spot is quite an accomplishment after something like that, Jason.
Oh, totally, totally. Because when you go down, it literally, it's almost like a neurological scramble. It just kind of, you know, not the best way. You're in your flow, you're doing your thing, and then when you have a crash, and especially a pretty rough one where they're pulling fingernails out of your hand and you're getting your shoulder wrapped, you know, it's hard to sometimes maintain that composure or regain it and get settled again so you can do what you do. So it's even more impressive that they find themselves celebrating on top of the podium with all the champagne after the crashes, after the adversity, after all of that. So you can see the press, media wanting to get pictures, the crowd, fans waiting and standing by for.
I think the cameraman just got scared of the champagne.
The camera wanted to protect his camera?
Yeah.
That could be it.
But you could see all that energy exerted, and through that injury, she still found a way to pop the bottle on the podium.
Pop the cork. That's right.
So
it's kind of what you do when you get out of the gate, you know, when you see the red light or hear the first beep.
That's been a long time for me.
Pow! You pop the cork.
Pop it.
Just get on the race. Get on the track again, Pete. The fans would love to see it.
The fans are going to love to see these three elite men from the overall season get up on the podium, collect their awards, and get things kicked off here towards the end of the 2017 season. Jason, I can see it in your eyes. You're excited to see those riders claim their overall awards for the day and season.
As you can see, the track right next to the Dulce River. I could use some Dulce right now. That'd be kind of fun to get a little candy. I have to go to the office and get some. But yes, eagerly awaiting the elite men. Sylvain Andre, I think some of his energy might have worn out. He might be feeling some of the nerves and the tiredness. He's coming down now from the high, but definitely your World Cup winner, Sylvain Andre. Tori Nyhog, impressive. He manages to be number 3. Consistency counts. Tori Nyhog yet again on another podium. Connor Fields working his way up to 2nd place for the overall. And your champion, World Cup champion, Sylvain Andre from France, Caballon, Andre Fields, Nyhog, they will be the top 3 overall for the UCI BMX Supercross World Cup.
Yeah, what it could have been for each and every one of these riders other than Sylvain Andre. Connor said, you know, he went out early. I think it was like in the 8th or quarterfinals in Belgium. Other than that, he's been pretty much consistently in the top 4 on the podium all year long. Nyhog missing the main yesterday. But Sylvain Andre has been the key to consistency all season long. Tori Nyhog not afraid to get a little bit of a bath on the stage. But that's it for these riders. They're done with their World Cup season.
That's it. The celebration.
Time to let loose a little bit. And Argentina, what a place to do so, Jason.
What a place. Argentina, we love you. BMX, we love you. Thanks for joining in so very much. You can see the riders celebrating. Connor Fields celebrating with his monster champagne. as they turn around to take another photo.
What a great season it was. We want to thank all of the sponsors of the UCI BMX World Cup Tour. We had Tioga, Dan's Comp, Chase BMX, a slew of others on each and every one of those events. Box providing the number plates for these riders. And what a great season of BMX Supercross World Cup. Once again, traveling the world. Jason, it was awesome to have you in the lead man each and every one of these stops this year. A different perspective from an ex-professional, ex-world champion. Definitely gave the viewers at home a lot of new insight that they wouldn't have got before. And it was awesome to see. So Jason, congratulations on a great year on the tour. Thanks for everyone for tuning in. That's a wrap for me for the 2017 season. Jason, I'll leave it to you.
Thanks a lot, people of BMX. I love you, and I love doing this job. Love bringing BMX to the world and showcasing these athletes, how great they really are. Take care, and we'll see you next season here at the BMX Supercross.